is an unbelievably
common name. You just not ready, dude? Okay, so I'm gonna stop ruining the fun. I mean, I said this the night of. I feel like it's just not no fun. Okay. It's real. It's real. It's a real. They got Cole Allen. They spread the clues all around, like this one Groiper account. They spread all the clues around so that we can all figure it out. There's probably an inside guy who was like, "Oh no, there's gonna be another attempted assassination that was foiled years later. So I should just put this government agent who we tapped into 4 years ago. Let's just put his name out there on this random anonymous Groiper profile."
We don't even need to get into this, but then you also have. Do you see the banner for this Twitter thing here? Apparently, if you take this and you adjust it in one of the editing programs, it looks like sort of like a modern art piece, but it really is a picture of the Trump shooting. If you change it in editing software, like the core of it is the picture of the Trump shooting.
What?
And you're going, hold on, wait a second. The timeline here doesn't.
Yeah, that's new. That wasn't the case. They probably added that after the fact or something. If that's even real at all, I don't think that was the. I don't even think that was the actual banner when we looked at Henry Martinez's account. Cause on his Candish. I mean, have fun. Have fun with it. I think it's good to have fun.
Just have fun, bro. Just have fun. Just have a good time. So let me get this straight. They're talking about an actual attempted assassination, knowingly spreading complete misinformation and lies just to have fun, right? Spreading complete, provably false conspiracy theories, lying to your entire audience. And most of them believe this shit because they're dumb as rocks and they're politically brain rotted. They want to believe just one certain thing. Of course, it's a Twitter account from 10 years ago that predicted this exact day. Surely that's not manufactured. Surely that's not somebody just trying to mess with you. Surely this happens for every fucking event, not like we've seen this like a million times before. By the way, this video has like 400k views as well. So this guy just openly lies and divides people more and more. Tries his best to foment more hate, you know, divide the country more, set it on fire, just to have fun. And then Hassan watches this, goes, yep, hilarious. I know it's completely false. I know this is bullshit, but you know, he's having fun. Let him do it. And these are the people that claim to report the truth. This is where people legitimately get their info. They're watching like 5 to 10 videos a day of the most like unhinged shit, the straight up lies. I mean, at least we're telling the truth here. These people are beyond shameless. And I don't say this often, but, you know, respect to Hassan for somewhat calling this out, although he's not going to push back at all because, you know, he knows that this is very useful to his, like, side and his politics or whatever. But I find it hilarious. He points out to his audience, hey, guys, this is most likely bullshit. But, you know, fuck it. Let's just ride. Let's just ride with the shit because it's really convenient for me. Let's just have fun. And it's like a real serious political event as well. And it's like, this is how they're reporting the story by lying about it. I totally stand Kyle and Hassan being the dynamic duo of online leftism. Oh my yuck. Hollywood-ass assassination attempt. Joe Rogan of the left reacting to the Alex Jones of the left. Calling Hassan the Joe Rogan of the left is so insane. Dark woke is back, baby. This is the cringiest statement known to man. Moving on to Hassan crashing out at YouTubers Abba and Preach for making a video calling him out for calling gamers loser incels.
I don't think wanting to be a dad is weird. Oh my God, do you guys not have any other fucking content? Jesus Christ, get off my dick, bro. Holy shit. How many more years of this like reluctantly attacking Hassan and then agreeing with his fucking primary focus reluctantly 2 years after the fact are we gonna do over and over again? No, they're not. I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't think it's weird to want to be a dad, man. I'm talking shit about gamers, okay? Capital G gamers who are like weirdo fucking white supremacist incels who are like, yeah, this game is going to repopulate the planet.
You offended the pedos and the capital G gamers and the incels? Yeah, what they're offended by, I think, primarily is...
I love how first it started with gamers and now it's just incels and...
Yeah, dude, you got me. I was actually fucking attacking every gamer on the planet. Like, man, this is low budget bullshit. I don't even want to fucking entertain it, okay? Again, I can't explain this to you guys enough. I got fucking government ops, okay? I got the entire propaganda apparatus of the nation state of Israel inside of my fucking asshole. I got like 55 different articles being written about me on a daily fucking basis on Fox News. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna have to. I don't want to have a back and forth with Abba and fucking Preach, okay, over what they misunderstood about my take, where it's like,
Bro, this guy, he's got the entire nation state of Israel after him, guys. It's in his walls, it's underneath his skin, it's up his butt, Israel everywhere. He has 55 articles written about him every day. Some may or may not be glazing his chest as. He doesn't have time for small-time fries. Small fries. Like Abba and Preach, but he does have time for slop tubers, does have time for Asmongold. Bro, Hassan always tries to act like he's above all of this, you know. He's not there to spend his time on petty internet drama, while spending 90% of his time literally crashing out about this stuff. And I don't know why he's acting like, oh my god, he's got places to be, things to do. Bro, you spend all of your time on Twitter. We can literally see it. Don't act like you gotta be somewhere, man. Hassan goes, I'm busy, bro. I don't have time for this. I don't have time to play Pragmata like you fucking loser incel. I gotta read some tweets. I gotta get cucked by more men. Hell yeah. Bro, you had a dumbass take. I don't know why he wouldn't just like admit it, be like, hey, you know, I probably shouldn't have said that. I probably worded it wrong. I probably, you know, was a little salty or whatever. But he always does this. He doubles down and then he wonders, why the hell are people still harping on him? This shit has been going on for like several days now.
oh, I guess he's backtracking to incels now. You know? Yeah, I am, dude. You fucking caught me. I got so embarrassed that I was shitting on every gamer. Every man, actually. Every man that wants to be a father. I was shitting on them, and you caught me because you're fucking brilliant. God forbid you misunderstood the original take that I was making. God forbid. That's never a perspective with any of these guys, okay? They never, no one on the internet ever does this thing where they're like, hold on, let me see what he means. No, I've already been established as a fucking villain for a lot of these dudes, okay? For a lot of these dudes. And it does so well on the algorithm that they just go, yeah, I'm a professional misunderstander of the point that he's making. God forbid you fucking agree with me, you know? You only agree with me maybe 2 years after the fact, you know?
Bro is so mad all the time. He's mad all the time. Dude, you gotta check your blood pressure or something. It cannot be healthy to crash out this much, man. It's so funny, like he just sips his fucking drink. He always has something. Always sipping something, eating something, stuff in his ass. Tubby ass mother flipper. Notice how I'm actually never eating anything in my videos, alright? Maybe because I can actually put the fork down for 5 seconds. Also, the audacity to say that they're misunderstanding my takes. Brother, you're a professional misunderstander. That's what you do for a career. You can't cry when it happens to you. Not to mention, your take was pretty clear. You should have just admitted that it's a shitty take instead of trying to defend yourself over and over and doubling down. But you can never just do the logical thing. That's an odd reaction to 2 black YouTubers reacting to you. Weird, weird. Play it!
I don't give a fuck what black people care about. Oh, black people care about this, black people care about that. Like, shut the fuck up. You don't understand black people. Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry, it's just too funny. It's just too funny. Classic Hassan Cycle has a horrendous take, claims it was out of context or misunderstanding, never clarifies position, cries about it, says it doesn't matter because of Israel. It really had literally all of that. Never ask Hassan to address anything because he has more important things. He has to capture the moon. He has to fight the entire nation state of Israel. His evolution into a lolcow has to be studied. We are studying it actively. I have a fucking PhD in this shit. If Hassan wants to stop taking him out of context, then maybe you should wise up and stop making sweeping generalized statements. All it takes is the most minor pushback and he'll cry and shit himself like a child. This is the guy meant to save young men. Bro, if you're a young man watching him, you're literally gonna turn out to be a terrorist. Every single time. Anyways, apparently Hassan has been tweeting a bunch of shit. If the president doesn't want to be called a Nazi, perhaps he should stop behaving like one. This is hilarious because if you don't want to be called a terrorist, perhaps you should stop behaving like one, right? If you don't want to be called a dog abuser, perhaps you should stop behaving like one. Like, this logic just backfires like crazy. If you acted like a Nazi, you wouldn't be able to speak your bullshit. I mean, does he know if Hassan exists? I don't know. He probably watches, like, Fox, which does talk about Hassan, right? Just be thankful you're in America. Why try to tear down the platform that allows you the freedom to speak your mind? Russia needs you. He made this tweet: back in the day, cyber stalking or A-logging was cordoned off to weird weird incel forums. Bro, you're getting like a Casey-tron streak with the amount of incels here. You have certain content creators egging it on in their communities, making their own personal project of entertainment or even a political strategy. Well, yeah, it is fun to shit on you. You're literally a Candace Owens fan, you should shit this one out. You watch Bad Empanada dox everyone involved with Progressive Victory on stream. To live audience, please shut the fuck up. Spider-Man meme, literally dox an entire group of people. Whatever you say, select the great leader Hassan. Off to free the peons from capitalism. Back in the day, terrorist supporters were arrested. Their connection grows. Oh, goated animation. Remember when Hassan read deranged schizo posts from Destiny's actual stalkers on his stream? Now click this video to start your gratitude journal, guys. Great practice. Today, I'm grateful for the legendary series. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Just like fiber in my colon, the YouTube algorithm works in mysterious ways. I put something special onto my homepage. A beautiful little nugget that highlighted a scam that I would have never even imagined as a possibility. A YouTuber named False, uploaded in 6 years, came out of nowhere from the top turnbuckle and delivered a smackdown onto a nutrition brand that had a protein powder that they were hawking that isn't quite what it seems. Now, if you read the title of this video, it says this company sold cake batter as protein powder. That title is admittedly a little misleading, because cake batter is probably more nutritious than what they were parading around as protein powder and selling. It is a homemade label, and in that little screenshot there I showed you, the keen observers out there, the astute viewers, may have noticed that there's a bit of a big typo on the label. Instead of dietary fiber, it's dietati fiber. So this is not like a real label, and it actually gives me similar vibes to like the OG pink sauce shenanigans. So it turns out, we're going to go through this video together, that this nutrition brand had this protein powder that was not as advertised, and it certainly didn't have the macros that it was pretending that it did.
If you're in California, there's a decent chance you've heard of Holmes Nutrition. Anyone that has tried Holmes Nutrition protein powder would say the following two things about it. One, that it's the most delicious protein powder they've ever had, and two, that it tastes just like cake batter. The powder itself even advertises how it's great for baking. One scoop has 22 grams of protein and only 3 grams of sugar, but it's that someone got suspicious.
Now, I'm not familiar with this brand, I've never heard of it before, but it seems like it had a lot of glaze with people praising its flavor in particular. It had great macros, judging by the nutrition label. If you would go to misspellings of dietary as well as essential amino acids, it seems as though they called them essential amino acids. But if you put that stuff aside, that pesky grammar and spelling, it all looked great. Now, real quick, why you should never ignore something like that on a label is these are extremely important pieces of information to get right. If there are spelling errors in there, that showcases that something's a bit fishy, something's gone awry. Smells stinky. If a label isn't correctly, accurately describing what the contents are in this product that's being consumed, that can be the difference of someone getting sick. People make their decisions on things based on these kind of labels, especially when it comes to people with dietary restrictions. So, if the label can't be trusted, that could be legitimately dangerous for some individuals. This is something you don't fuck with. So, with this in consideration, so many people talking about how closely resembling cake batter the flavor profile was for this brand and how low the sugar was, there was someone on Reddit who, just like my boy George, got a bit curious and decided to send this out to a lab for further testing, just to confirm, like, does this actually have the macros that it says it does? Is this actually what the label is telling me it is?
This Redditor sent in 3 different flavors of Holmes Nutrition to a lab. They sent samples of chocolate cake, lemon cake, and cinnamon crumb cake to this lab, Certified Laboratories, and all 3 powders came back with the same results. Instead of 22 grams of protein, this protein powder had 21 grams of carbs instead and only 3.4 grams of protein per scoop.
Boy, howdy, that's quite a bit different than what the label says is contained in that product. It's a far cry from what's advertised with this protein powder. 3 grams of protein is shockingly low. I could fart in your mouth and you get more protein from my ass than you would from this powder. For
Hey,
comparison,
what's up?
Let's take a peek at Betty Crocker, just the most popular package. You get 1 less gram of protein in the package, but if you prepare it as you're supposed to, you would actually get 1 more gram of protein for preparing a fucking Betty Crocker cake than you would from drinking a Holmes
You
protein
fucking
shake.
bitch. You had to... And you had to bring a friend too, didn't you? Stay down. I said stay down.
It's so weird. Like, I cannot believe.
All right, where are your buddies
how low
at?
protein there appears to
Pump 'em
be
full
in
of
this
lead.
Product based on the lab results here. 3 grams is actually shockingly low. I know I've already said that, but I am stunned because I would think, like, even if you were trying to make some, like, misleading product here, you would think that there'd be a little more protein in that, just even accidentally. Somehow, it's like they went in there and intentionally removed all of the protein they could possibly find. Like, you could eat a handful of grass and probably get more nutrition out of that. When I went back to the original Reddit post, it seems like this was a very popular brand of protein powder, at least in the local area. For years, Holmes Nutrition has been a well-known local name, someone everyone preached about as being legit because he's friends with so many people, but recent lab results show that the product has been severely mislabeled, sold under the appearance of a higher quality protein powder than it actually contains. I personally have been buying Holmes Nutrition for over 4 years, believing I was getting a high-quality product. People I know have even picked up their protein directly from his house, trusting they were buying from someone who cared about his customers. Instead, they were handed a product that didn't come close to meeting its advertised nutrition claims. And in the comment section, both here, on the YouTube video, and even in other places like on Facebook and stuff, and other like Instagram and things, there were tons of people talking about how long they've been purchasing this product. They've been loyal to this brand for years. And when you are trying to better your health and
yeah.
fitness, one thing you do
Yeah, I
is
do
keep
have
track
good
of things
news.
like macros.
I will be streaming
So
for
people
another
are buying
month.
this and working it into their daily routine as part of their macros.
I
and their
think. I'm
nutritional
pretty
goals
sure.
In order to hit what they wanted to achieve, what they were setting out to achieve. But they were being misled the whole time.
I had
They weren't
to
getting near their protein threshold that they were looking
cash
to
in
hit.
some
And in
stocks.
some cases, you
Well,
can even make an
I
argument
cashed
that
in
it
some
was
stocks.
hurting
I had to
consumers, as
talk
you're going see
to
more in this video here and in the original
my
Reddit post.
advisor to see if
Because
there
this
was going to
is
be penalties
incorrectly
and see if it
labeled,
would be
there
worth
were
it.
people buying this product that
But I
probably
cashed them
shouldn't have
in, and
because
I
of,
got
like,
enough.
blood sugar spikes
I
and
got enough
stuff like
money to
that.
do it for
This
one
is
more
why these
month.
labels are extremely important because someone who's like diabetic needs this information. They rely on this information so that way they don't end up putting themselves in a dangerous
I mean,
position
I'm
by
not going to
consuming
cash
something
out my
that
whole
they shouldn't.
retirement
So when this
just
product
to gamble
gets
on this,
tested in a
but
lab and turns out it's not even close to what's
I
being
think if I could
advertised
stick
with
it out
the
one
label
more
doesn't
month,
reflect what's actually in there at all,
I
it
think I could make
becomes
partner.
a huge problem, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this brand sued. Honestly,
I am
huge
really
W to
close,
the
man.
Redditor here who decided to take it upon themselves to send this out to labs to confirm if this really is what Holmes Nutrition says.
I think I only need
think
like
that was a very
4
important
more
thing to
streams
do.
that are over
I've
an
been
average of
absolutely
75%,
obsessed with getting buff
and I'll
and
make
working
partner.
out. I was lifting at the gym 5 days a week, and of
I am a little
course, I was
under a
hitting my
little bit of
protein levels
anxiety
each and
because I
every
haven't
day.
fucking,
Or so I thought.
I haven't gotten more than
So
fucking
you can
like
imagine
50.
my fast
I think my
pain
average for my
and
like last
nausea
6
when I
streams was
found
only
out
like
my
30
favorite protein
viewers.
powder
Some of them I had like
Yours
2
was
or
not
3
even protein
viewers.
powder at all. Just a sweet batter
So
mix with
I'm
trace amounts
I am
of
having a
protein.
little anxiety about
An
that.
egg, a single egg,
But I'm already right
doubled
now I'm
the
having a
amount
good
of
stream.
protein than
It's
my
getting
protein
better.
powder had. The protein powder I was spending $75 per bag on.
Oof. Yeah, protein powder's not cheap. So it seems like, based on the available information here, Holmes Nutrition was like the cheapest fucking cake batter type.
The thing is I didn't want to do it,
and packaged and then charged a fucking arm and a leg for it.
but
She's right. A single egg is double what
I talked to some friends and stuff, and
Holmes protein powder.
they told me to give it a shot. They
but
talked
it's
me into it.
actually diabolical. She has been working out for a long time and believing to be hitting her protein goals thanks to the assistance of something like this protein
I guess
powder.
it's a
Turns
good
out
thing
this
I
entire
hang out
time,
with
she wasn't,
optimists,
because she wasn't getting the protein she
because
thought she
I
because
was
this
definitely feeling
complete
very
fucking phony
pessimistic
baloney
about
she'd
it.
been schmeckledorfed by Holmes Nutrition here. If I found out the protein powders I've been using for the last decade were actually just, you know, pixie dust or something and dirt and sawdust, I would be pissed. I would be extremely upset. And I saw a lot of other comments from people, even outside of like the potential dangers of someone like consuming this and having like a blood sugar spike or something like that because they didn't know or anything like that. Even outside of that, people were taking this and then wondering why they were plateauing or not like seeing any improvements when they were hitting the petrol doing what should be leading to improvements, thus causing tons of confusion and wondering, well, what's going wrong, without ever suspecting that their protein powder they were relying on was actually the real culprit. It's such a fucking mess.
So, first of all, Holmes Nutrition Protein Powder is not sold in big box stores or on Amazon. It's a company created by Sacramento-based bodybuilder Bobby Holmes and his wife. It's only available on its website, holmesnutrition.com. So, how did I even find out about this protein powder in the first place? Well, the smoothies that my gym made were fantastic, so one day I peeped at the protein powder they use and I wrote it down and then went home and started buying some.
Her story is one that I saw shared by many others. Apparently, a lot of people found out about Holmes Nutrition through their local gyms that were making protein smoothies there using that powder, and people were just blown away by how great it tasted that they also wanted to find out what the fuck was this protein powder. It tasted just like cake batter, but for only 4 grams of carbs, 3 grams of sugar, 22 grams of protein. Holy shit, $75, I'm losing money not buying it. So people were then buying Holmes Nutrition protein powder. This was the gateway drug here. They believed that they had stumbled across something that was truly unlike the rest. It tasted incredible, and for only 4 grams of carbs, 3 grams of sugar, 22 grams of protein, they were losing money not giving Bobby Holmes 75 clams. Their body was withering away, shrinking and shriveling from atrophy without being fed this holy elixir that tasted just like cake batter, when really the whole time they were deceived.
So for me, I'm one of the lucky ones because this just affects my gains, but for others, this is a major health issue. The Redditor included in their post that they even saw a comment on Bobby's Instagram from someone saying their blood sugar shot up despite low sugar and carbs. To make matters worse, in the comments, people were buying this protein for their diabetic family members that have been having issues.
Now, England is on the brink of civil war. Probably has nothing to do with the infinite Muslims that are being imported into the country.
Hang on.
And
Was that
it seems like
Comey?
Rupert Lowe, they're trying to put him in jail. This is insane and incredibly infuriating. I really wanted to talk about this because, unfortunately, there's not enough coverage on it. Obviously, the media is silencing it, doesn't want anyone to know. And in my opinion, it's one of the big travesties of modern Western civilization. So Rupert Lowe is currently running the Restore Britain Party in England. It is being called the far-right party, as if they needed more advertisement. And essentially, it's running on the actual promise that they're going to fucking deport everybody. Everybody's going to go. All right, listen, man, if you rape a kid, we're going to deport you. And people are like, no, but we love you. All right, so again, the left is once again doing their classic trope of just supporting the inverse of whatever you're peddling. All right, so now we got the entire left in England basically just outwardly supporting child rapists. It's pretty crazy, actually. So Rupert Lowe says, our rape gang inquiry report will be released in early June, and it will shock Britain. I will obviously cover that when it comes out, because I think this is one of the big tragedies of our time. It really is. I'm not exaggerating. Between the leftist policy of abortion and the leftist policy of mass migration, they have murdered a third of a generation and then left the remaining 2/3 to get raped by barbarians. In potentially one of the most unbelievable atrocities of the modern era that our descendants will talk about with horror. And whenever someone says something like this, they always give the caveat, if we will win, we have God and anime on our side. We will win, actually. Actually, our civilization is awesome. It is better. It is superior. And there's the shithole civilization. They suck. All right, they're gonna lose. It's not gonna be close. They will lose. I do believe there's a spiritual parallel to this war, and quite literally, it will get solved. and we will win. All right. So obviously everyone's terrified that he's going to release the rape gang inquiry to basically be like, hey, why is it that 6.5% of the Pakistani Muslims have committed 85% of the gang rapes? Can you explain that one to me, sir? Now you might think this is a joke, but this is the bombshell of the century. So Rupert Lowe is running for prime minister. Right. Just so we're all clear. Farage.
Holy crap.
That is.
I had two baddies come out there right away, man.
This is the center right.
Dude.
Tried to put me in prison because I backed mass deportation of
Hey,
Pakistani child
look out.
rapists and their friends. My home was raided by officers late on Friday night as a direct result of Reform's allegations. My guns were seized. They tried to ruin my life in every way. Farage admitted it
Anyone
on
else?
national television. And it was all because
Close
I
the
backed
door
mass
so they don't sneak
deportations.
up on
He
me.
said that was the moment they'd realized they had to, quote, get rid of me. Not the bullshit allegations that they went to the police with, but the fact that I want the Pakistani rapists removed from our country. He admitted it, that all happened. I took it on the chin and planned out our next step. I founded Restore Britain to give the British people the democratic option.
Oh, there is another one there.
Restore Britain will without apology deport every last foreign rapist and all foreign accomplices who knew it was happening, yet failed to act. If that means entire communities go, that means entire communities go. I don't really care. This is why we can't have female judges, by the way. All right, I'm just saying. There are many layers to intelligence. Quite literally, women are very good at understanding things, that's for sure. But men have wisdom. Obviously, there's wisdom on the female side, and there's understanding on the male side. But it takes a strong man to say, I don't really care, I'm going to do what's right anyway. All right, we will rid Britain of that cancer. Now Reform are incandescently angry. They're giving the British people that choice, deploying increasingly desperate smears against our movement. If people don't agree, they can vote for someone else who won't deport. There are plenty of options. Reform, Labour, Tories, take your pick. Go for it. But if you want those evil scumbags out of our country, along with every foreign coward who enabled it, you now have that genuine option. Restore Britain. Now, just to understand, this is the quote-unquote right-wing party that tried to get this guy jailed.
But the nub of it is, we have a Muslim population in Britain growing by about 75% every 10 years. Right? That's just where we are.
Mm-hmm.
If we politically
Oh, I can make a bike now.
alienate the whole of Islam, we will lose. We'll lose.
So how does one include
We
them?
will lose. By 2050, goodness knows what kind of a terrible state we're going to be in.
Right. So essentially, he is saying that we just have to appease the Muslims. I'm sorry, man. Not gonna lie to you. You are an enemy to the people. This is not the right-wing alternative that England needs. England needs someone like Restore, and he knows that, which is why he is trying to get him arrested. Now, the funny thing is, you're never going to appease the Muslims, because the Muslims that are coming from third world shitholes just want the government to give them infinite free welfare shit, which basically just comes from the actual working British guy. Right? That's how this all works. You'll always notice that the foreigners are voting left, because left literally is the communist retards that take money from the people that earn it and give it to the foreigners, to give it to their families. You cannot have open borders and a welfare state. That's just an inherent contradiction. And you know who figured that shit out? Every single third worlder barbarian. The inbred dumb fucks with 79 feet for this. Rupert, this is not imagine the pain Henry Nowak's family are currently going through. There are no words, so I'm going to try. Rest in peace, Henry. Now, I want to make something clear, because this story got zero coverage in the United States of America, so I'm going to do my best to shed a little bit of light on it. Henry Nowak is everything that the left believe George Floyd
I'm
was.
glad I didn't accidentally shoot that
the left is
barrel.
constantly equating George Floyd to Charlie Kirk, and being like, we can make fun of Charlie Kirk, you can make fun of George Floyd. George Floyd was a piece of shit, career criminal, evil retard, moron that overdosed on fentanyl and died. All right, just to be clear, died under the knee of a police officer. Henry Nowak was a British boy who died because he was stabbed by a Sikh migrant who called the cops. The Sikh said that the other guy was racist, so they arrested this guy, threw him on the ground, and he bled out and died in handcuffs because he was called racist by the guy that stabbed him. All right, this is an infinitely racist. It's an. Just how bad this is. Henry Henry Nowak was stabbed and died at 18. Police showed up and handcuffed the victim, which was Henry Nowak. Why? The suspect claimed racial abuse and denied the night. The body cam footage is damning justice for Henry, but they're not releasing the body cam footage. They have it, but they refuse to release it. That's not a red flag. So, zero stories in the AP about Henry Nowak, or PBS, or NYT, or NPR, WSJ, CNN, WAPO, Reuters, MSNBC. No one's talking about this. Even though I think it's one of, in my opinion, the most heartbreaking stories you could possibly imagine. Dude gets stabbed by a Sikh. The police show up. The Sikh says that he was racist. They arrest the guy bleeding out on the street, and he dies in handcuffs. Possibly the worst story of all time. I'm not going to lie. It's up there for absolutely one of the worst. But it gets worse. Judge reduces Henry Nowak's murder to manslaughter. This is Judge William Moosley. All right, he ordered that Vikram Digwa, that is the migrant that stabbed him, face a manslaughter charge instead of a murder charge. You know, despite stabbing Henry Nowak in the back of the legs as he tried to escape. Just understand the level of evil that there is. It's almost like on an institutional level, they just want to kill white people. Now, I'm not going to say something so conspiratorial, but it's all about white. That's kind of what they're saying, right? Why the fuck would you do this? This is insane. All right? Now, I just want to make a little bit of an equivocation to George Floyd, who, unlike Henry Nowak, who was murdered and betrayed by his people that they brought in foreigners, betrayed by his people that they believed the foreigner and handcuffed him instead of administering first aid, and betrayed by his people, but then just basically trying to get the guy off on a manslaughter charge instead of a murder charge. Betrayed. There's George Floyd, a guy who was a piece of shit career criminal who pointed a gun at a pregnant lady, all right, literally resisted arrest, died of a fentanyl overdose, and then BLM burnt down the fucking country. All right, today we remember George Floyd, who was murdered by a former Minneapolis police officer 6 years ago. That moment changed our city forever. Like, bro, we do not have to take this seriously. Like, this shit was not nearly as big of a deal, okay? Bro, like, you've got to stop, bro. The guy died of a fentanyl overdose. Man, if there's a zombie apocalypse and George Floyd comes back, bro, he's gonna die of a fentanyl overdose again. They're gonna burn our cities down all over again. All right, we cannot deal with that shit. I don't support that in any way. All right, but this is crazy. They made this guy a fucking demigod among the left. Like, they worship him. There are murals of him. It's unbelievable. Like, George Floyd has become my go-to example of, like, every time some leftist is like, we should kill all men. Even George Floyd. It's just absolute silence. Because they have this mythological ideology of who this fucker is. And he was a fucking evil piece of shit retard who died of a fentanyl overdose. He fucking sucks. All right? Now, just understand. Mr. Nowak can be heard saying he can't breathe while the police put handcuffs on him, lying on his side, telling officers he was stabbed and could not breathe. All right? What are we doing? George Floyd said, I can't breathe, and they burnt the fucking country down, and then he died of a fentanyl overdose. All right? This guy, the officer told Mr. Nowak that he was under arrest for suspicion of assault. He repeated he's been stabbed. A male voice said, I don't think you have me. And then he bled out and died. You can't even make this shit up. You make it up. All right? This is fucking outrageous. Ms. Elon Musk response, unconscionable. I'm happy to fund the wrongful death lawsuit against these disgusting excuses for law enforcement. Damn well better should have been fired. Bro, it's dude, Elon Musk is out there doing his best. All right, just understand, though, this is not a single one-time case. All right, the reason why I feel like this is super important to talk about is because it is entrenched in the modern culture of England and coming soon to the United States. All right, our Muslim population is only 1%, not 6.5%. So, hey, we got a whole generation until we have to deal with this shit, unless something happens. All right, breaking news, jury fails to reach a verdict.
I'm going to be going another month, yes.
Sectarianism kills trial by jury. We're broken. You know why? You know why? You know why? Because all the Muslims decided, we should vote innocent. We should vote innocent. It's
made some decisions against my better judgment, and I'm able to pull it off for one more month.
Vote for their own little ethnic or religious enclave. Now, I'm going to show you the actual footage of this guy's case because it's some of the most damning shit in the universe. But you have to understand, this is what's going on in England right now. The Beaver Scouts, aged 6 to 8, were taken to Stirling Mosque to be indoctrinated, all right? For some reason, these kids had to do it, and he refused. This absolute legend, this absolute Giga Chad, this goat, refused to kneel. That's right, he refused to get indoctrinated. Everyone's talking about him like he's a patriot, and he is. An actual patriot standing in the face of terror like that. I can't believe you're being so racist. Not all Muslims are terrorists. True, but all terrorists are Muslims. Now, just wanted to bring your attention on this one. Muhammadan sets up a stall in England telling British children they deserve to be raped for wearing shorts. just have to and they believe it too. I mean, as you can tell by the rape gang inquiry that the government is so scared of, they're trying to arrest people that are trying to expose it.
New York?
Yeah, so what happened?
Where's he gone? He was saying I deserve to get raped for my shorts.
I can't imagine these young ladies would have just come up with something randomly without there having been something said. But then whether it was exactly what you said or seen as that's what you said.
What you are saying, you are reasoning. What's going on?
Now, the young ladies have made sorry, I don't want to be on camera.
Okay, yeah,
Well, I'm hoping everything goes well.
An allegation that the gentleman has said that they deserve to be raped.
I am really fucking stressed about it, though.
There's no investigation. I'm just asking the gentleman what his side of the thing is. He's been very reasonable.
Excuse me, what happened? What happened?
But I got a friend,
Yeah, so what happened?
lives back in Chicago. I talked to him about it, and he kind of convinced me into
Probably because he's a rapist. I don't know, man. That's so weird.
ended up giving it another month.
Like that. Bro, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, Islam is not an ethnicity. It is not a race. Okay, it's not racist to recognize that this ideology is very dangerous. Especially when they become a large minority, let alone a majority. All right, just understand, though. Understand, bro. Dude, like, this is the level of retard you're dealing with. NHS has declared sex a biological fact. Sorry. It is unrelated to biology. They just don't want to believe in reality. Reality offends these people. It really does. It's crazy. Reality just offends these people on an unbelievable level. And we just have to sit here and make believe that all of their delusions are real to appease them. Well, actually, no, we don't.
Oh, I did, because I didn't accept it.
I was telling you about earlier, where this guy punched this woman in the face on camera. I'll show you actual footage in a second. And the jury failed to reach a verdict because there were Muslims in the jury, and they decided, you know what, we're just gonna let our brother get off the hook. And I'm really glad people are talking about this.
I ain't that far. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it.
Promised to me 3,000 years ago. One thing I recently added to my daily routine is using free cash for a few minutes here and there. If I'm gonna play games as a time sponge, I
could take the scenery. I'm gonna do that.
Free cash is a fun and easy way to earn real money by doing simple tasks while already on your phone. Play games, complete surveys, do simple tasks, and turn your bathroom break into an investment. I've been enjoying playing Call of Dragons on free cash, a high payout strategy-based building game. You get instant payouts with a really easy process through PayPal, Amazon, or Visa. There's already over $250 million paid out to over 60 million users worldwide. It's a win-win. They get someone to test out their games and fill out their surveys, and you get paid. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to sign up and get a $10 bonus today. Now back to the chaos. Every individual sign up literally supports the channel, so if you could click the link in the description and do the thing, that would be very appreciated.
You can break a copper's nose in an airport and walk free, but 30 words on the internet will get you 3 years. The country's done.
Remember, they want to jail Rupert Lowe for being pro-deportations, but they refuse to jail rapists, murderers, and actual people that assaulted women on camera.
And on behalf of Fire Ramaz, age 21, Mohammed Ahmad, age 26.
I can't believe his name is Mohammed.
Following today's verdict.
That's a shock. I was sure the guy's name was going to be Steve.
This jury, after 19 hours and 48 minutes in a 5-week trial, failed to reach a verdict regarding either defendant and has been discharged.
A jury in the retrial of the two brothers accused of assaulting the police officer at the Manchester airport has failed to reach a verdict. These two guys were on trial for assaulting him. It's all on CCTV. Let's see it. Video supplied by the Crown Protection Service was shown to a jury. So this is the guy, and that's clearly the guy.
His name is Mohammed. That's not me being racist. That's actually his name.
That we just saw. The video appears to show
Mohammed. This is a female police officer who's like 4'11".
Mohammed Fahir and his brother attacking the arresting officer.
Bro. We gotta stop with the whole, like, you know, female police officer thing. Female judges, female police officers. This was a mistake. I'm sorry, man. This was a mistake. Let's say 1 in 10. 1 in 10 will be as equipped as a male to deal with the situation. I don't want to take that chance. All right, now look at this tiny little thing.
Jesus, look at him.
That's a fucking animal. Deport that monkey. Look at this. Just punched her right in the face. And the jury was like, nope, innocent. The jury was like, nope, innocent, actually. Look at that shit. Bro winds up and everything. Look at that. Just blasts her. Absolutely blasts her. And the jury's like, no, innocent. hit. Oh my God! Just punched that woman in the face. He actually laid her out. Jesus! Just punched 2 women in the fucking head. And then he gets the third cop. Barbarian.
Called to report allegedly.
Barbarian. All right, let's be real here. That shit's crazy. Obviously, you know, I would just deport every single person in the jury that said that he's innocent. I'm a simple, rational man. I think every person that said that he's innocent lied. We have video footage. So every person that said that this guy is innocent literally lied. And in my opinion, they should all get deported. All of them. Every single one of them.
Really assaulted or recently arrested. Oh, so they already assaulted somebody else. Of course.
The man in the light blue tracksuit is Mohammed Fahir Amaz, confronting a man he said had insulted his mother. Police officers were called, and at a car park pay station, they moved in to arrest Amaz on suspicion of assault.
Yeah.
Brother Mohammed Ahmad was with him.
Watch this off stream just to see. You can let the stream listen. Okay, let me see it.
Yeah, I actually saw.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she has blood dripping out of her face.
Oh my God, bro. He hit her right in the face. Said she never experienced such violence towards her. God damn. Broke her nose? Yeah. Jesus Christ. This man, after a Manchester airport attack on police, tried to incite mass protests and violence in the streets of Britain.
I want immediate action of the police officers,
Support.
every one of them who was involved in the Manchester airport incident. All of them.
The incident, by the way, was a Muslim beating the shit out of a cop. That was the incident.
Arrested, suspended, tried.
Yeah.
And isn't it incredible that you import these people, you give them free shit, and these absolutely ungrateful barbarians then demand, and if you don't listen to them, they're just going to do mass unrest in the streets, all right? And then they demand your fealty.
Jail immediately. Every one of them officers needs to be arrested immediately. If not, then we will go to Plan B, and you will see big protests. I promise you.
Terror threat, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think you want to go to Plan B. I've got a really good feeling that you don't actually want that.
Protests like you've never seen before.
Plan B, yeah, what an idiot. I know. And so they weren't even able to come to a judgment against this guy. I reckon a couple people on the jury just got pretty red-pilled by this. Imagine having a case is open and shutting this, but your fellow jurors won't convict because of tribal allegiances.
That's right.
That's exactly the reason
That's right. Are you really going to let a fellow Muslim brother be condemned to jail by animals? By non-Muslims who should be slaughtered at the neck? They should be paying us the jizya tax? We are superior beings. And we're just gonna let one of our brothers, a Mohammedan, go to jail? Unpardonable.
This is why the justice system fails whenever you introduce people into the system that are not part of Western culture. They will not make a decision based off of...
Asmongold is not nearly red-pilled enough on this. Now, I agree with him that Western culture is superior, absolutely. But not all cultures are equal, all right? That's a fact, right? This would not be happening if a Japanese guy would not be doing this, a Korean guy would not be doing this, a Chinese guy would not be doing this, all right? Some cultures are actually just really fucking bad.
What the law says. They will not make a decision based off of who was right and who was wrong. They will make a decision based off of what their tribal allegiance is, what the religious accommodation is. That is how they make decisions. I don't know how many...
Yep. Yeah, and also...
Or of their women have to get punched in the face, have to get brutalized before people in Europe finally wake up.
The feminists allowing a generation of their children to get raped. That's what feminism got you, ladies and gentlemen.
And they realize that the invaders are not at the gates, they're in the country. They're already there. They're serving on juries.
This jury, after 19 hours and 48 minutes in a 5-week trial, failed to reach a verdict regarding either defendant and...
Yeah, of course they did. And just to show you how absolutely captured the propaganda of this country is, this was a recent BBC article that literally caused mass protests.
You see him portrays it.
This is the craziest thing ever. Like, I would not believe this if I didn't see it myself.
Father selling his twin daughters into slavery with adult men as a man who is forced to make difficult choices.
That's right. The BBC is defending selling your children into sex slavery. Yep, that's right. Sometimes you're relatives. That's right. You have a nice cousin named Muhammad. Well, if you have a little daughter, you can sell her as a sex slave to your cousin. That's right. You see, in Western culture, if you have a poor family member, you support them, you give them money and shit. In Pakistan, you buy their daughter to rape them forever. Isn't that awesome?
What?
Now, that's in Pakistan, that's in Afghanistan. I'm not going to sit here and make believe That the British media would defend it, right?
The Zimi's home, we're suddenly confronted by the devastating impact. He calls for his daughters. Rukia and Rahila are twins.
That is a child. That is a little girl.
They're 7.
That's crazy.
Abdul is eager to explain why he's making unbearable choices.
I am 7, but I am poor. Time to sell my children into sex slavery. Yup. What a nice culture. We should import 1 million of these.
Ready to sell my daughters. I'm poor and in debt.
Oh my god.
But what can I
Selling
do?
his kids?
But it's the only way to feed my other children.
The post got community noted. BBC frames Afghan fathers selling their daughters as sympathetic. All profiled cases involve girls 5 years old. Selling daughters for marriage is a long-standing cultural practice in parts of Afghanistan. BBC focuses on fathers' distress over the outcomes for girls.
Feminists, by the way.
Parentheses. BBC story from earlier.
Like, these people have been so captured by Islam, it's crazy.
It's going mega viral. People are eviscerating them in the quote retweets if you want to check it out real quick. Not once does this article ask who is buying the children and why. Afghani men are selling their girls to other Afghani men. Get it right, you utter disgrace. They're voluntarily doing this to make money, as they have done in the Middle East for centuries. Men sell their daughters, and the BBC has a poor man's say, you don't hate the BBC enough. And this is the reason why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want to...
That's right. They're trying to ideologically normalize Islam and pander to Islam to win elections.
Portray these people as being sympathetic. So
they're the victims. The entire Western mindset is oppressor versus oppressed. So as long as you describe these people as oppressed, boom, they are automatically morally justified with whatever they do.
They can soften people's opinions on them through immigration. They're trying to literally whitewash and make it look like selling your young, like 6-year-old daughters into slavery. How do you possibly try to paint him out as if he's the victim? There should be no moral equivalency that is drawn at all to this. This is sick, deranged. How do people defend this?
Bro, by the way, I'm just saying, she doesn't even have a hijab, this 6-year-old girl. That means she didn't even start puberty yet. Bro, it's shocking. It's actually shocking. And that they're trying to appease these barbarians.
That is drawn at all to this. This is sick, deranged. How do people defend this? The reason why they defend it is because it is anti-Western propaganda. Once you understand that these people hate you and they want to demographically replace you in your own countries, then you will finally understand their mind. The problem that I think a lot of people have is that they're naive and they assume that these people have some sort of a good motive. They have no good motive. Yeah, there it is. Selling children to survive, Afghan fathers forced to make impossible choices. So he sold the girls to feed the boy. Man, they are trying to impose an ideology of cultural relativism to the most disgusting aspects of behavior around the world. It's filthy. I am so glad people are calling this out.
And that's where we're at right now. Everyone is waking up and realizing that this is some pretty fucking sick shit, dude. Some cultures are actually just inferior. And actually, all your moral equivalency, it gets you child sex slavery.
There will always be unsolved mysteries about the ancient world. We're just too far from it to resolve some. But there are some mysteries that can and have been solved, and science is getting more advanced every day, with computers and satellites doing more than just ushering the future. They can give us surprising glimpses into a distant past, allowing us to better understand the ancient civilizations that came before us.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
The past decade has provided a number of breakthroughs that finally answer some of these quandaries. Here are 7 ancient mysteries that we've solved in the last decade. While the Moai statues are not always known by name, they are instantly recognizable. These stone figures come from the islands of Rapa Nui, also known as Easter Islands. With their long heads, strong brows, big noses, and thin lips, the Moai are as iconic as they are mysterious. And for years, archaeologists have argued over their most basic facts. Why were they built? How were they moved? And why are there so many of the things? However, one of their foundational questions has finally been answered. In 2019, a team of anthropologists from 6 different institutions published a scientific paper showing that the Moai statues had been placed very intentionally. This has been suspected for a long time, since the statues have an average weight of about 14 tons, and, well, no one likes to carry 14 tons about willy-nilly, do they? Also, it's been well established that the Moai were constructed at an extinct volcano that served as the island's quarry and then moved, or perhaps walked, using ropes into their current locations. For the past 1,000 years, most of the approximately 900 statues have stood with their backs to the sea on stone platforms called ahu, which can hold up to 15 of them. This placement led some people to believe that the Moai were spiritual protectors, keeping watch over the island and the people within it. Right, but the answer turned out to be a lot less metaphorical. As part of their research, the anthropologists used mathematically driven spatial modeling to find connections between the placement of different Moai statues. One factor was statistically significant: fresh water. This makes sense when you consider the island's unique hydrology. One of the problems with Rapa Nui is that it has very few sources of drinkable water. Its 2 lakes are difficult to access, there are no streams, and its 1 spring is often reduced to a wetland bog. Archaeologists have found systems for collecting rain, but they are nowhere near big enough to provide for a population of several thousand people. Early accounts by European explorers describe the people of Rapa Nui drinking ocean water, but that doesn't make sense either. The high salt content is toxic to humans, ironically causing death by dehydration. This left the researchers with 2 possibilities. Either the European explorers were lying, it wouldn't be the first time, or something else was going on here. So, they studied water samples from the Easter Island coast. It turns out that rainwater is quickly absorbed by the island's volcanic soils and runs downhill beneath the ground, injecting where the island meets the ocean. As a result, in certain areas, the water is brackish, meaning just salty enough to give it some flavor. This was the main source of water for this. Strangest way I've heard brackish water described. This was the main source of water for the people who built the Moai statues. When the researchers compared the map of freshwater injection points and ahu platforms, there was significant overlap. There is also evidence that Moai statues located inland were associated with fresh water as well. After years of wondering, science and mathematics has finally unveiled why the enormous iconic statues of Easter Island are placed the way that they are. There is no shortage of ancient languages that have been lost to time, and deciphering the tantalizing scraps that remain is a task so challenging that it keeps entire collegiate linguistics departments busy for decades. But in 2022, the University of Cologne was able to announce that they'd successfully cracked a language that had puzzled the world since the 1950s, Kushan. Around 135 BCE, nomadic warriors from northern China wandered their way into the kingdom of Bactria, which had been struggling ever since the death of its conqueror, Alexander the Great. They decided they liked the area and chose Bactria as their base of operations in what later became the Kushan Empire. At its height, their territory spread across the modern-day countries of Afghanistan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, eastern Iran, and northern India. As is common in large empires, there were several official languages. Bactria was an obvious choice, but the list also included Sanskrit, Gandhari, and a mysterious script that's today known as Kushan. Archaeologists first discovered inscriptions of this previously unknown language in the 1950s, but no one could translate them. It looked like this ancient writing system might be lost to time. But in 2022, a new discovery was made. A rock face in the Almosi Gorge near Dushanbe, Tajikistan, was found with a series of squiggles that turned out to be a bilingual inscription. It was like finding the Rosetta Stone, which, with its trilingual repeating of the same royal decree, was key to unlocking Egyptian hieroglyphics in the early 19th century. The rock face included the name of the Kushan ruler and his title, King of Kings, written in both Kushan and Bactrian. And since we already know how to read Bactrian, all the researchers had to do was figure out which symbols corresponded with the words, then the rest is history. It turns out the Kushan contains about 25 symbols and is read from right to left. Translations are still ongoing, but like many ancient civilizations, it appears that most of the inscriptions the Kushans left behind deal with boring day-to-day administration of the empire. However, this could prove invaluable to historians eager to learn more about this period of the Middle East. Perhaps the best-known ancient monument in the entire world, the Great Pyramid of Giza, rises out of the Egyptian desert on the edge of the city of Cairo. It seems to ignore all logic that something so large should not exist in a place so desolate. After its construction, it would take thousands of years for humans to relearn how to build such momentous architecture again. But the Great Pyramid is not alone. It is accompanied by 30 others, making it the largest group of pyramids in Egypt.
I don't even have any room to carry.
Construction required an astronomical amount of stone. The Great Pyramid alone required over 2 million blocks, and some of those weighed over 50 tons. Transporting all of that material would have been just as monumental as the building itself. There has been plenty of skepticism about whether an ancient civilization was capable of the task, or whether aliens were involved. They weren't. But an Egyptian-American geomorphologist had an idea that might explain this odd location. Emin Gonian was an expert at reading radar data and had already found evidence of an ancient megalake in the Sahara Desert. She knew that the Nile River had a habit of moving around and wondered if it had originally been closer to the pyramids, which would have allowed the Egyptians to bring the stones by boat. Even today, boats are the most efficient way to move around large cargo, and they would have been a huge help in bringing stone to the pyramid's worksite. Radar satellite imagery seemed promising, but the only way to know for sure would be on-the-ground testing. So, a team of scientists took a field trip to Egypt, where they collected soil cores, penetrating radar, and conducted tomography surveys. And what they found was larger than what anyone had expected. The Nile hadn't just tweaked its route. There had once been a huge branch of the river that had completely dried up. Stretching 40 miles, that's 64 kilometers long, and at times rivaling the width of its parent waterway, this previously unknown river branch was more than capable of shepherding stone to the pyramid construction sites. In 2023, the team announced their discovery to worldwide acclaim. They decided to call their waterway Aramat, which means pyramids in Arabic. It was a nod to the ancient mystery that had inspired us. Of all the ancient mysteries still unsolved today, there is perhaps none as intriguing as the famous Nazca lines. These geoglyphs crisscross the Nazca Desert in southern Peru, many in fantastical shapes like plants or animals. It is unknown why these gigantic drawings were made or what their significance may be. In fact, their scope was only fully understood after airplanes were invented and photographs. But while the Nazca lines are undoubtedly fascinating, less known just as mysterious disappear into the sand. There have been many theories about their purpose, but most agreed that they had something to do with water. Locally, these holes are known as paquillos, meaning wells. It was also known that the Nazca had an elaborate irrigation system, parts of which are still functional today. But quite frankly, the spirals just didn't really look like wells, which left a lot of people pretty puzzled. Like the Nazca lines, unveiling the mystery of the spirals required looking up. But this time, researchers were not limited to merely airplanes. This time, they had satellites. In 2016, a team of scientists from the Italian Scientific Institute analyzed images from space to identify all paquillos in existence. They then cross-referenced those locations with local water sources and ancient settlements. The data had them convinced that these spirals did have something to do with the irrigation system, but not in the way that you'd think. The Nazca Desert is one of the driest places on Earth. Every drop of water was precious for those who lived within it. They couldn't afford to lose any to evaporation, and in the desert, that was going to be a bit of a challenge. So the Nazca people opted to keep their water underground for as long as possible to keep it away from the thieving sun. Once the water went into the tunnels, it had a tendency to stay there. They needed a way to move the water toward their crops without reworking their tunnel system. And this is where the paquillos came. The researchers believed that their main function was not to act as wells, but as a kind of chimney. Their spiral shape channeled wind into the underground passageways, forcing the water into the desired direction.
I'd shake your hand, but
elegant
you've
solution
got
to their
a dysentery.
water problem.
The way you
The team
smell.
is convinced that the people who built the paquillos also built the famous Nazca lines. Both projects required a deep knowledge of local geography and large-scale cooperation. And with more and more research about the Nazca line suggesting a connection to water, this discovery will hopefully bring the world
Fine,
closer to
take a
solving
fucking
yet
look.
another ancient mystery. The classical Greek city of Athens is known as the birthplace of democracy, a haven for the arts, and the cultural center of the ancient world. But it was also home to a gruesome spectacle that was discovered in the 1930s when an American archaeologist was investigating a well on the edge of the Athenian Agora.
You think
The
you're
Agora
pretty
was a
smart
place
now,
that
don't you?
included meeting
Here's
areas,
your
public
pay,
buildings, and monuments
Einstein.
to the Greek gods. Accessible drinking water was as necessary then as it is now, so public wells were a common feature. But this well was far from ordinary. The archaeologists soon realized that it was full of bones. But not just any bones, the bones of human infants. Knowing that they had something
Let's
highly
make a pact.
unusual, the remains were removed.
What are
and
you
sent to
standing
a
there
lab.
for? Don't you have
Initial
work to do?
investigations were able to identify over 450 individuals, most of them babies, but a few adults or older children. The well also contains the bodies of approximately 150 dogs. It was such a bizarre discovery that no one knew what to make of it. Was this human sacrifice? Had there been a plague that affected only babies? Or perhaps an invasion that targeted the city's youngest citizens? There were no...
I'll tell you all about it.
Now listen, the more time we give Trump to cook, the happier I am about life in general. Hassan Piker is going to jail. Absolute cinema. I've been calling it for a while now. I said it was going to happen. No one believed me, but we are here, and it has gotten so much better. The updates are glorious. He's spiraling, and it's beautiful. All right, you are not understanding. All right, now just to be clear, we do have evidence that our informant is actually Kaya. This is incredible breaking news. That it might be Kaya that's ratted him out to the feds. No one knows. Now, just to understand, I wanted to start off this entire video with this clip. So Hassan spiraling out of his fucking mind about going to jail for treason. Right? You might not be familiar with that in Turkey, okay? But in America, we don't like treason. All right? Yeah, get the fuck out, man.
Yeah, I don't. He's not going to jail. Hassan Piker's not going to jail. I don't even think he's the target of the investigation. I think basically they're going to pull him into Congress and see if they could sweat him.
Asking a very pertinent question.
But it's so strange because like this is not even beneficial for any of these people, right? It's not even beneficial.
And I think he'll flip, man. He's a squealer.
They don't understand it. Like who?
He's a fucking squealer.
Me, for me, it's for me. It's for me. That's what it's for. It's for me. I gotta say, the Jews controlling America. Put on this one.
Question: is it for you?
Yep.
Is this helpful for you if I go to fucking prison? No.
Yes, actually, I'm really glad you asked. Yes, actually, very much so. Thank you. It's like the same idea. Does it really benefit you if you squish a cockroach that's just in your kitchen? Like what? Is the cockroach really bothering you? Yes, actually. Yep. And the cockroach is dead. You can have lots of roaches, and I'd rather kill the cockroach before that shit happens. I know. It's a very apt analogy, I would say. Yes, actually. Is it beneficial for you if I go to fucking jail? Yes. Yes. Honestly, the higher gas prices, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. What are we even talking about? I mean, the funniest part is this is coming from Hassan Piker, a moral consequentialist. He's the type of retard that just sits back and cries and screams about how, you know, he doesn't believe in God and morality is all subjective and everyone should be happy and looting stores is fine because there's nothing inherently immoral about stealing or murder as he supports Luigi Mangione. And he thinks that my subjective happiness at watching this roach get thrown into a slammer, he thinks that that's worth nothing. Yes, actually, because he only believes in his own subjective values because he's a miscreant piece of shit roach. All right, but it gets so much better. Mark's propaganda, Hassan Piker is panicking. Fox News is doing a victory lap on this one.
Influencer Hassan Piker might be in real trouble for
I'm just saying, I've given like a fuck ton of information on Hassan Piker to two sources in the government that have reached out. Listen, I'm not saying I contributed. I would like to think that we were all. Hassan Piker shocked his dog and heard around the world.
In Cuba in March, where he filmed what looks like a propaganda video for the regime.
That's right. Hassan Piker is doing propaganda for an actual adversary of the United States. According to the law, that is treason. That is actual treason. Doing propaganda counts as materially supporting them.
I'm here in Havana, Cuba, right now
Oh, there he
on
is.
a humanitarian aid mission.
There he is in Havana, Cuba, to throw a gay little festival and make believe that his glory is there and usurp all of the electricity in the city so that kids that were in the middle of surgeries had to actually die because all the electricity was busy getting used on Hassan Piker's turbo retard gay orgy. All right, that was much more important than actually putting electricity in the hospitals that night. Congratulations, Hassan.
My goal here today is to bring awareness to what my government, the United States of America, has done to the Cuban population.
Yeah, so this is straight up propaganda for the enemy adversarial communist regime against our nation.
One of the most ridiculous embargoes of all time that has only gotten more deadly.
For the record, the embargo is just Cuba has to buy their own shit. It can no longer be supplied free shit from like China. For the record, they're just not getting free stuff from Venezuela anymore, and they're dying because communists suck.
As time has gone on.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I need springs. I need mechanical parts. I think I might need some of these. I might even need electrical parts, but I'm not sure about that.
That is called terrorism, sir.
It's quote, not great, and BS, and other.
Pink.
Good response, Hassan. Very good.
Mini Blake handlebar.
Federal officials served subpoenas Marxist political
Raft.
influencer Hassan Piker and co-Pink co-founder Susan Medea Benjamin, dude. It's just so fucking good. All right, so Hassan Piker, shaken out of his mind. All right, now just to understand, this dude was LARPing as a revolutionary. He goes on his stream talking about a violent revolution, overthrowing the establishment, you know, supporting Luigi Mangione. This dude gets a letter
I need leather.
in the mail, and he is more shaken than Donald Trump was when he was shot in the fucking head. You know who the actual alpha Chad is.
Is not great. Okay?
Oh, why
I mean,
not?
it's bullshit,
It's bullshit.
but
It's bullshit.
still not great that,
Great.
you
I
know,
disagree.
they're after your boy. They're up my ass.
W, let go, let go. Who knows what they'll find?
And I'll obviously get into it right now. I'll tell you all about it.
Oh, look
but
how
let me
scary
blast
he
off
is.
real quick.
Oh my god! Ooh, bad.
We will free you, brother. Yeah, free me. Free me.
Free me! I am a brave communist revolutionary. Free me!
Free me. I can't believe I'm saying that. But,
Oh my god, look how scared he is.
but I'm, you know, I'm about to be, seemingly made an example of.
I sure fucking hope so. Let's freaking go. Donald Trump, I would vote for you this time.
Let's
I would vote for
fucking
you
go.
this time if you could put this man under the jail. That would be crazy. Alright, now, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. This guy's just sad.
And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's not great.
It's not great at all, actually. I'm glad. I'm glad you bring that up. More shaken than Trump did when he got shot. Dude, this guy is such a fucking pussy. It's crazy. Now, you are not ready. You are not ready because he keeps crying about it.
I know you usually let the work of rallying the orgs you support, but in case they try to bring you to court, you should definitely consider coordinating with orgs you've been pushing and try to publicly mobilize your community in not only your defense, but use yourself as an example that the admin is hunting down real pro-American voices like Medea. Show them that your emotion goes beyond being a Twitter power user that's buddies with Elon's exes. Dude.
He's like, my audience is just retards and terrorists. Why are they being so fucking stupid?
Sometimes I welcome rotting for the rest of my life in a fucking federal penitentiary rather than having to deal with long-term community members who have like unbelievably snide remarks even in this fucking moment. Like, what the fuck? Dude, what? You're giving me advice on something that you don't know if I'm doing or not, okay? And then also you have to
Yo, I know you're trying to overthrow American government, but like you should do it actively.
to slap me with a fucking backhand and be like, all you technically do is just, you know, hang out with Elon Musk's exes, dude. Why don't you do some real fucking organizing? Well, bitch, I did, okay?
Bro, this dude is an internet LARPing revolutionary in his Gucci pants, in his communist mansion, with his $300,000 Porsche, making millions of dollars, and he's still going to jail for being an insufferable rogue. Bro, this would be the most unifying moment in America. Everyone would support this shit. Yes! Dude, yes! The liberals, the right wing, the far right, everyone would love this. Donald Trump, please. Dude, put this man away. Rubio, if you can hear me, this guy if you put him in jail, you would become the next president of the United States. We know you've been revoking visas. You've been going after Islamists. This guy is perfect. He's perfect for you. You throw him away forever, you become the next president. W. Just colossal W. That would be incredible. Denaturalize him. Figure something out, man. This is perfect. Everyone hates this guy. Benjamin Netanyahu. If you can hear me, I have intel that Hassan Piker is only 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon. Benjamin Netanyahu, use whatever leverage you have. Whip out the Epstein file. No, I'm kidding. But bro, this guy's going. It's amazing.
And guess what? The government was like, we're throwing your ass in jail. Fuck you. Okay, what do you want me to do? Not an ideal way to add to your lore. I know.
Try about it.
You can't pay for this kind of publicity, fam. Okay, guys.
Oh, such publicity. He's gonna go to jail. Oh, that's sick. You know, bro, we got Congressman Randy Fine. I hope appeasing Muslim terrorists and communist dictators.
What just happened to those?
The days of allowing your outrageous behavior to go unchecked are officially over. Assad Piker is a jihadist. With a bunch of his famous quotes like, Hamas is 1,000 times better. To kill them motherfuckers, let the streets soak in the red capitalist blood. America deserved 9/11. I do not support the United States of America. Overall, my favorite flag is Hezbollah. China is the country that represents everything I love. If you care about Medicare fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. Oh my, this is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately. Bro, just a couple of bangers. Bro, you know Congressman Randy Fine is watching this blue retard. Holy shit. All right, so Hassan immediately feels like, you know, I know exactly how I can survive. I'll just snitch. I'll just rat on literally all the guys that are supporting terrorists.
I think that ultimately the target is probably Singham and his operation.
Singham?
From P.
Now, a lot of you probably don't know who Singham is. I do, because I do research on Hassan Piker's network of terrorism.
ESL to Answer Coalition to Co-Pink, like anything that he has ever financed.
So he is a billionaire living in China who, in my opinion, works for the Chinese Communist Party directly, who is directly financing Co-Pink and Answer Coalition and Hassan Piker's infinite jihadi communist propaganda. He is literally admitting being bankrolled by, in my opinion, the CCP. That is who Singham is, a billionaire in China. Just understand the level of fuck he is for doing this.
And it's not new. It's been around for a while, but it's obviously it's held through regardless because like it's ridiculous, right? It's like totally fucking ridiculous to try and you know, to try and stop like the political advocacy of an American citizen.
Not for long. You're getting deported. Oh, I can't believe he snitched on all of his guys. That's crazy. So next is him trying to make himself look better. He's like, but I defended when people did this to other people. I defended Destiny. I defended all these other people. Okay, you know, this one is not defending Destiny. Oh my god. It's just so bad, bro. In fact, on the contrary, he literally is calling for exactly what's happening to him to happen to other people. Before getting too deep into the chaos, free cash was promised to me 3,000 years ago. One thing I recently added to my daily routine is using free cash for a few minutes here and there. If I'm gonna play games as a time sponge, I might as well make some money out of it. Free cash is a fun and easy way to earn real money by doing simple tasks while already on your phone. Play games, complete surveys, do simple tasks, and turn your bathroom break into an investment. I've been enjoying playing Call of the Dragons on free cash, a high payout strategy-based building game. You get instant payouts with a really easy process through PayPal, Amazon, or Visa. There's already over $250 million paid out to over 60 million users worldwide. It's a win-win. They get someone to test out their games and fill out their surveys, and you get paid. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to sign up and get a $10 bonus today. Now back to the chaos. Every individual sign up literally supports the channel, so if you can click the link in the description and do the thing, that would be very appreciated. Bro, this is so
and now part of that,
oh my god,
part of that is
oh my god. Senator Adam Schiff under federal criminal investigation for alleged mortgage fraud violations. Oh my god, I hope they arrest him. Oh my god, I hope he goes to prison. Oh my god, I hope he goes to prison. Oh, I hate him so much. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, this is political. Sure, I don't care. Lock him up. Lock him up. He got... Dude, He literally got. I know this is fucking absolutely malicious. I know this is malicious. I know Trump is doing this out of pure malice. This motherfucker got like 6 mil from APAC.
Oh, he got money from APAC.
Okay, lock him up. Yes, he's my senator.
Bro. So they're like, Trump is weaponizing the Department of Justice and he's just maliciously going after political opponents. Anyway, definitely lock up Adam Schiff because I don't like him because he got money from the Jews. It's just so good. It's actually just so good that this guy has zero morals whatsoever. He has zero principles. He is just a guy blowing in the wind, supporting every communist regime he could think of, supporting every Islamic terrorist attack he could possibly figure out. And this is just him weaponizing an army of inbred retard terrorists in his chat. He might be a honeypot. The FBI might just be using him as like a honeypot to get info on all these scatters, who knows. Right, put them on some dossier of potential Islamic terrorists. Right, but dude, this is just crazy! Crazy! They're going after him now, and he's like, they're weaponizing it against me, why would you do that? It's unconstitutional. He supports this, though. He literally supports this! Alright, this is an old Hassan Cuba clip that's just so fucking good. It's so good.
I did cancel the Cuba trip, yes, because I didn't want to go to prison.
You didn't want to go to Cuba because you didn't want to go to prison. Anyway, he ended up going to Cuba, and wow, he did end up going to prison.
And unfortunately.
Yep,
He's gonna run, he won't do it? No, he'll do it. But we're locked in. What's the context behind you saying U.S. deserved 9/11? It's very simple. American foreign policy and intervention in the region directly caused blowback and led to 9/11.
Bro, this clip is just perfect. It's him saying if he ever goes to Cuba, he's gonna go to jail. And then it's him saying that America deserved 9/11. It's so fucking good. It's so good. You can't make this up. Fox News says federal informants served subpoenas to Marxist influencer Hassan Piker. Hassan responds on Twitter, the American government would try to criminalize delivering aid to a country we've starved. The country yesterday. Epstein class, this term is an IQ test. All right, you only use this term if you're an actual 85 IQ inbred. That's the rules. I didn't make the rules. That's just the rules. But just to understand, the American government would rather try criminalizing, propagandizing an adversarial government? Yes, the American government should criminalize treason. That's base, actually. This is insane. Bro, this guy, Hassan Piker, is a multimillionaire who visits brothels that have child prostitutes. He is the Epstein class. It's crazy. All right, so just to understand, you weren't going to deliver aid to a country we starve. All right, we're not starving them. Communism is starving them, and also you didn't deliver aid. You went there to do this gay fucking show to advocate for communist dictatorship shit. It's just so bad, bro. It's so bad. The craziest thing is, first him saying the American government would try criticizing delivering aid, and this is him saying that any other government would do it anyway.
Now, U.S. aid, like this is yet another instance where, like, again, Trump is doing something, okay, that is not necessary. I feel like it's something that under different circumstances I might not have even had an issue with.
So he supports cutting off foreign aid. Meanwhile, he's crying about America not giving foreign aid to Cuba. Like there is no position that this guy is not a hypocrite on. All right. So anyway, it gets even funnier. Next, he's crying and begging. Maybe Zohran Mamdani can help it. He thinks the fucking mayor of New York, who, by the way, condemned him on live television, is gonna come to his defense in a federal treason case.
Well, you might need Zohran Magic for this one. Yeah, okay, dude. Yeah, I don't think Zohran Mamdani is going to be doing that anytime soon because I'm not a concerning incident that took place in the New York City region of America. You know what I mean? Highly doubt it.
All right, highly doubt it. Sentence over.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
I'm wrong. Maybe Zohran, please help Zohran. I know you're just the fucking mayor in New York, but please, Zohran, please.
Apologize for the Adam Schiff comment, so this is good. I'll gladly apologize if my Senator Adam Schiff lifts a pinky finger to defend his anti-Zionist constituent and democracy. He certainly didn't when my friends were being tortured in an Israeli prison.
My friends being tortured in an Israeli prison is him directly and openly admitting that his friends are terrorists. There's no other explanation. There is no other interpretation. He's like, yeah, my friends are Hamas. Wow, this is gonna go really well.
Oh, so you're friends with terrorists? Put that down on the subpoena. So wait a minute. So he says wait, you're friends with Hamas? Whoa, wait a minute. Wait, what the fuck? Guys, why would he admit this, right? I mean, this is an investigation. Why would you say this? There's no self-reporting. Why would you say this at all? Why would he care if I go to an American one? Oh, right. And so this is it. Oh, my God. He can be an informant? I guess so. Are there polymarket bets on him? I bet there's not.
Bro, just miserable. The spiral is so bad. So Jasmine Crockett, retard Democrat, boosts video mocking Hassan Piker after subpoena for the Trump admin for bringing food medicine to Cubans. All right. By the way, he didn't actually do that, bringing food medicine to Cubans. This makes believe that he's like some sort of official news account. This is just Hassan Piker's editor. This is literally Hassan Piker's editor. Kamala would have never. That's what you get for telling people about third party. Literally just roasting Hassan Piker. And Hassan is like, yeah, she endorsed an Israeli agent. Unsurprising. Yeah, this is just Israel. Israel is trying to get Hassan Piker to go to jail. Can I just say, if Israel is the one pulling the strings, go Israel. Let's fucking go. Maybe Israel needs more control over America. That's what I'm saying. All right. If they're the ones doing this is miraculous. So begging for Zoran's help. Oh, dude, it's so bad. So Rick Scott, a guy who, by the way, Hassan Piker called for his death on his stream. He's getting in his ass. Good. Hassan Piker, the code went to Cuba, stayed in 5-star hotel, ghosted up with thugs in the communist regime, completely ignored the innocent political prisoners being starved and tortured. They should be thoroughly investigated and held accountable for any laws broken while doing so. Thank you, U.S. Treasury. Hassan Piker responds, but you did Medicaid fraud! You did Medicaid fraud! Bro, it's so fucking bad. Hassan Piker, once again, trying to come up with some other way to throw other people under the bus. Alright, so we got Hassan Piker says Fox News fell for a fake tweet stating that he stayed in a sanctioned hotel in Cuba, which I think he did. There is an American citizen who recently did violate OFAC and stayed in a hotel that Americans are not allowed citizens to stay in. It wasn't me, though. It was Nick Shirley. That's right. Nick Shirley, an American patriot, fighting for American people is totally the same as a Turkish roach, terrorist-supporting retard who's constantly calling for violence on the streets and supporting communist regimes that we are literally sanctioning. Nick Shirley was in Cuba getting trailed by 2-star generals where he had to flee the country under threat of his life. All right, they confiscated his gear and they scared the shit out of him. You were literally propped up by the communist regime where they set up little gay music videos for you and your gay friends. Right, just understand, he was not out there committing treason. You quite literally were. Bro, it's crazy. Dude, it's so
we obviously did.
Watching him talk about Nick Shirley is just incredible. He's trying everything.
We obviously didn't stay at a fucking hotel that the American government has made illegal to stay in. Nick Shirley, on the other hand, whether because he's a fucking idiot or because, it doesn't really matter what he does because he's basically an agent for the state.
Nick Shirley, the guy exposing people in the government for doing fraud, is an agent of the state. The guy who exposed hundreds of millions of dollars of fraud that the government has been trying to cover up is an agent of the state.
Did stay in a hotel that was illegal for him.
This guy's actually fucking retarded, right? It's crazy. Right?
Jesus, this guy is a fucking retard.
It's just so good. So one of the major Senate candidates that Hassan Piker has been supporting lately is a guy named Graham Plattner. He's a retard that's basically talked about how he wishes American troops would have been killed by the Taliban, and he actually had a Nazi tattoo on his body. Like, not something that could esoterically be decided as a Nazi tattoo. An actual Nazi tattoo that after getting exposed, he had it covered up. All right, so look at this one.
I find that tattoo and his commentary about it to be personally disqualifying. I hope Maine voters agree with me. I think it would be a mistake for the Democratic Party to think that Graham Plattner's brand of the Democratic Party is what wins us durable majorities throughout this country.
Massachusetts Congressman Jake Auchincloss, thank you so much for being with us.
All right, so this congressman is like, yo, we should not be electing this guy. This is a Democrat saying, yo, maybe we shouldn't elect the guy that's calling for the death of our soldiers and also literally having Nazi tattoos. Hassan Piker be like, Israel burns Democrats. Bro, I don't even know what to say. This has nothing to do with Israel. This is incredible. It's incredible. This guy is actually fucking retarded. It's honestly shocking, man. Bro, like this guy is going crazy. You do not understand. This is a glorious crash out. It is so bad. All right, it gets even worse. So after Hassan Piker realizes that obviously the entire right wing is united and celebrating over the fact that this fucking retard, terrorist-supporting dipshit communist is going to jail, all right, he was then shocked that these center-left people, like the average liberal, also is celebrating him going to jail. Every centrist blue MAGA who celebrates these subpoenas is fucking morons. They think you're all communists. They're coming for you too. That's right. Hassan Piker is a shield for every moderate Democrat. Kamala and Hillary lost the Trump because they tried to present themselves as moderate establishment candidates. It was the Dem Party's failure that gave us Trump twice. The Dems and the free consultants on this website are entirely out of touch with the base and diametrically opposed his demands. Pro-Israel Dems have no real constituency. It's insane how this is about Israel. Like, it's actually insane that this is about Israel. We represent most of the political and the media class. Blue MAGA is crying a lot lately because the left flank candidates that are blah and anti-Israel are winning insurgent races and the Dem primaries, and this makes a lot of blue MAGA scared. I tried posting on Twitter and it didn't work well. Maybe Trump can take part of my problem. That's right. My guy, this is literally you saying that you support Donald Trump jailing Adam Schiff because you didn't like him because they got money from AIPAC. All right? You are not sitting here and making believe like you have some principled stance against locking up treasonous psychopaths. All right, this is fucking insane. And now he turns on the Democrats. The Democrats are like, yeah, I actually don't really like that my party is known as the party that has like these terrorists fucking running around and shit. I don't actually like that. Nick Fuentes coming back into the fold, right? Like this man used to say we're voting Democrats and shit. If Trump wants to win us back, or he's talking about all of the like the right-wing guys that are like against Trump's Iran war and shit, putting us on Piker prison forever will be a good start. Donald Trump, listen, do it for Nick Fuentes. Reunite the right. Everyone could be back into the fold. We would all agree, bro. Nick Fuentes fucking hates this guy. It's amazing.
I look at a guy like Hassan. You cannot. How fucking dare you try to get on moral high ground? You are a roach.
Yeah.
You are an animal abuser. Yeah. You are an idiot, and you are human garbage.
That's right. Yeah.
And you're a hypocrite. You go in on your live stream, you cry about, I hate the left, I hate socialism.
It's just cinema watching everyone come together.
Oh, come on.
Only the Donalds can unite people so well. This man, he's still got it. Bro,
To go to jail. This was Nick last month.
Bro.
What needs to come of this is Hassan Piker needs to go to jail.
Oh, we've all been saying it.
We don't need a White House ballroom. Fuck your ballroom.
Bro,
we need Hassan.
we have all been saying it. I'm just saying. We could unite over this shit. Like, we could forge bonds in this retard going away. Now, there are some people that are against this, and I'm going to show them to you. Nico, Islamist. Regardless of our differences, I don't want Hassan Piker to go to jail. I don't want Hassan Piker to go to jail. All right, very cool. Pretty insane stuff. All right, who else? Minor Gangs, another Islamist. Every someone gets arrested, it's a matter of time they start doing the same thing to other people. That's why I don't want to say that. So let me get this straight. The only two people that I can find on the entire internet that don't want Hassan Piker to go to jail are two Islamists. It's a coincidence. It's probably coincidence. All right. It's one of the liberals are siding with the Trump admin over siding with the socialists, bro. Bro, all of the left. The people with Trump derangement syndrome are literally singing Trump's praises because he's putting people away. Meanwhile, what's happening in Turkey, which Hassan Piker doesn't want to talk about. In Turkey, by the way, opposition parties are degraded, critics are getting silenced, they claim to be some sort of democracy, and they are a fucking shithole. And guess what? Population is going to increase because they're going to be getting a roast from America very soon. Hassan Piker, you fucked around. Now you are finding out.
Hey, 42 here. Some people are born to do just one thing, and one thing only. Lionel Messi was meant to be a footballer. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was made to write music. And Albert Einstein was born to change our understanding of the universe. Robert James Fisher, he was placed on planet Earth to play chess. This man was quite simply a phenomenon. He broke every record in the book during a meteoric rise to the top of his sport game. Well, sport, but also a game. Look, I don't know what it is, but he was really good at it. So good that at the peak of his powers, American prodigy Bobby Fischer single-handedly took on the might of the Soviet chess machine, a state-sponsored juggernaut that had monopolized international chess for 2.5 decades and won. In doing so, he demonstrated a level of dominance over the world's strongest players that had never been seen before and hasn't been seen since. But Fischer didn't only have to contend with his grandmaster opponents, he also battled his own inner demons. Having scaled the dizzying heights of the chess equivalent of Mount Everest to become the undisputed best player on Earth, Fischer threw it all away as his growing paranoia and distrust saw him all but abandon the game he dedicated his life to. As his behavior grew more and more erratic, he eventually found himself a fugitive from the law and an exile from the country he'd brought so much glory.
Now, this is a long-standing take that I have, and a lot of people disagree with me on this one. For some reason, I think that everything wrong with Western civilization could be stemmed back to feminism. Really, literally all of it. I think it's people that have played on the heartstrings of forgiving and kind Christian civilization in order to basically manipulate people into discarding the word of God for some sort of more enlightened, empathetic belief system, and that is the root of all of the things, all of them. The degeneracy, the scams, the immigration, all of the issues I think could be trailed right back to this. And unfortunately for me, and society...
That is literally her right there.
So basically, Meta is laying off more people. Today, we reduced headcount by 22%. The Meta...
Wow, I can't believe that.
Layoffs are some of the most dystopian things I've ever seen. Unpopular opinion.
Ridiculously B-words that are unfortunately everywhere now. For some reason, we just have to tolerate them. And the hoification.
You don't have to dress corporate to be professional. So this is her. I guess she got.
This is the downward spiral.
It's a wonderful evening. Just don't spend it all in one place. But if you do, just make
like
sure it's here.
Hired at Meta, and so she showed up to work looking like this. Anyway, so this is what happened. Asha, as previously shared, we've decided to reduce headcount as part of our continued effort to run the company more efficiently.
You can always quit a job if you feel it's too dangerous. Or just
Unfortunately, your role has been eliminated as a part of today's reorganization. This is the TikTok she made.
Got laid off from Meta.
You got laid off.
I feel so happy.
You should have quit.
Yeah?
Breathe, like I can finally breathe again. Funny part is, I exceeded expectations for the last 4 years in all of my performance reviews.
Wow.
I was never meant to build someone else's dream while ignoring my own. I'll be a founding creator at one of the coolest AI fashion startups in Silicon Valley. I got laid off.
Wow. You got laid off from Meta. Now you're doing a fashion brand. I'm sure that's going to go really well for you. This is the CEO.
Bro, these people are literally gaslit by the system to think that they're all Captain Marvel. Right, I'm not even kidding. Every single one of these people thinks that they're completely and utterly gaslit into thinking that they will truly find themselves fulfilled as some sort of fashion icon / ho-fluencer. All right, and people are falling for this. It's crazy.
Oh, that fired the HR team a couple days ago? Oh, shit. He's explaining it.
We got rid of our HR team.
Why?
We had an HR team. That HR team was creating
That's
problems.
right. That's right.
Ow, what?
That's right.
Will you stop with that?
We've incorporated women into the workforce on such a massive scale that they are literally like, we need an entire
That's a good
woman
deal.
workforce to
Trust me,
enforce the
I'm a
woman
doctor.
workforce and basically shut down all actual progress to be made because they're too busy having meetings to decide on when they will have more meetings. Essentially, the nagging has gotten to such an insane degree.
That didn't exist. And those
They have to invent problems. They invent problems, and then they have to invent teams and policies to stop the problems that don't exist.
Disappeared when I let them go.
Perfect.
Every single
It's perfect. Everything that I've ever wanted to hear.
Company in Silicon Valley is full of worthless DEI. This guy, believe it or not, follows me.
My coworkers keep saying I need to make it like a tech TikTok, because if you look at my TikTok, you'd never guess I have a job. Anyways, this is our current workstation.
Not a good sign.
Callie and I are what you call
Take a peek at my
In
selection.
other words, useless.
Callie, what is your team?
Where they are literally inventing useless jobs to make sure that women can't actually get married
Thanks
and be
for
home
letting
and
me
take
take
care
care
of
of
their
you.
children.
And
It's
be
so
sure to
fucking
tell your
sad.
friends.
Over. My team is over reporting and internal tools. And I am over
Useless, nothing burger job.
what we call card experience. We help prioritize and help the engineers stay on track and help them know what to do.
Oh,
They do fucking nothing.
we help the engineers stay on track.
They're just nagging. They're like, hey, I have a job for you. You're going to be nagging men all day. And they were like, oh boy, my calling.
Oh, oh, whenever you're helping them stay on track, they're thinking, thank you so much, Samantha.
Yeah, exactly. So you might have a team like the engineers actually do the developing, the coding. Product managers,
Well, this is literally libtard dystopia. You import infinite Indians to be the tech managers. You hire two completely useless college libtard graduates in charge of this. I think you just fuck all of society.
Essentially decide what the team's going to work on, do competitive research, keep everyone focused, motivated, and
Basically just have endless meetings.
driving towards business outcomes.
Driving towards business outcomes.
That's what we do. We work from home.
We do nothing. We work from home!
Which means you work from the internet. So this is our office today. I hope all you coworkers are happy.
And are you happy that these people now exist?
Those problems disappeared when I let them go.
That's right. And no, so basically, the surprise of literally no one. So this is a video that I think has probably the greatest title and thumbnail on all of YouTube. It's made by a person. Think before you sleep. This guy is an absolute goat. All right, so I already opened this video, so you'll see the red bar. I didn't watch it yet. Florida woman goes to the dentist, and the thumbnail is just a screenshot of a Florida woman in a dentist office with a police officer. And literally the entire story is already told. You know exactly where this is going. It's insane! I didn't see this yet, but I was told it's cinema. Before getting too deep into the chaos, free cash was promised to me 3,000 years ago. One thing I recently added to my daily routine is using free cash for a few minutes here and there. If I'm gonna play games as a time sponge, I might as well make some money out of it. Free cash is a fun and easy way to earn real money by doing simple tasks while already on your phone. Play games. Complete surveys, do simple tasks, and turn your bathroom break into an investment. I've been enjoying playing Call to Dragons on free cash, a high payout strategy-based building game. You get instant payouts with a really easy process through PayPal, Amazon, or Visa. There's already over $250 million paid out to over 60 million users worldwide. It's a win-win. They get someone to test out their games and fill out their surveys, and you get paid. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to sign up and get a $10 bonus today. Now, back to the chaos. Every individual sign up literally supports the channel. So if you can click the link in the description and do the thing, that would be very appreciated.
So what's going on? So they called the cops. They have the cops here now.
Yeah. Yeah, we know where this is going.
Thank you.
What the fuck just happened? Push the button on my keyboard.
So what's going on? So they called the cops. They have the cops here now. So what's the issue? The issue is all the documents that
dude hiding behind the corner.
And I can get the world done. I need it done. You heard what she said, right? You can give it later. I told her I would mail them to your address because I don't have an address. And I asked her to get
Park this here.
She doesn't have an address.
Get out my killing gun.
Okay, alright, so you're gonna have to leave the property now. If you come back here and cause more issues, we're gonna have a bigger issue, okay? They do not have the documents ready for you right now, and that's the end of it.
Okay, so we have a routine visit to the dentist office where the police had to be called because the suspect, suspect is probably the correct word. So the police were called because the suspect is mad that they wanted to mail her paperwork to her.
Because they don't have an address for a place to send it to.
So can you give her one?
Why? They already told me I have to leave. I have to leave the premises right now.
If you want them sent to you, then give them the address. It's very simple.
What address?
Yeah, this seems so easy. If you pay close attention, you can even hear that whoever's talking to her on the phone agrees with the police. Now, to clarify, I think initially the dentist...
Oh, bro, it's so bad. It's so bad. Dude.
This one was 36 minutes ago.
Because of Karen.
If you want them sent to you, then give them the address.
It was 38 minutes ago. Oh, wait. 2 hours ago.
Actually, I really like every million Indians that come into the country. It makes me very excited. Well, fantastic news for everyone that's not those guys. They're losing. The Donald endorsed 9 for the Senate and won 9 for the Senate. He endorsed 101 for the House and won 101 for the House. He endorsed 8 for governor and won 8 for governor. Every single Republican that he endorsed won their primary. Every single one. This is unprecedented. Now, unprecedented. We have to talk about the Iran situation. If Iran surrenders, admits their navy is gone, resting at the bottom of the sea, and their air force is no longer with us, and if their weapons drop, each yelling, I surrender, while wildly waving the representative white flag, and if their entire remaining leadership signs all necessary documents of surrender, and admits to their defeat to the great power and force of the magnificent USA, the failing New York Times, the China Street Journal, the corrupt and now irrelevant CNN, and all other members of the fake news media will headline that Iran had a masterful and brilliant victory over the United States of America. It wasn't even close. The Democrats and media have totally lost their way. They've gone absolutely crazy. President DJT. True. Now, it got even better. So he made this tweet, and a lot of people are talking about it for very similar reasons, because no one's falling for this. He lied to us. All right, so he said, based on possible bad weather conditions tomorrow, we will be having a cabinet meeting at the White House, and we'll be postponing the cabinet trip to Camp David. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Now, the weather was not bad. There was no possible bad weather. This is a lie, and this is the Donald doing his classic, nefarious Donald manipulation techniques that we've grown to know and love. Now, a lot of people hate that he does this. I actually don't. I think that he does these tweets as some sort of public policy. He needs to give some sort of obvious excuse as to why he's not doing a thing, and knowingly not giving the real reason for it. The real reason for this probably is because Trump doesn't trust someone in that White House. Whether it's someone leaking information to the enemy, as we know that there is a mole that we have been investigating. Many people, like Tucker Carlson, has been served letters. People from the CIA have acknowledged that they are monitoring him and monitoring his calls now. So we know that that's happening. Either it's a leaker or it's someone who's working with the enemy to assassinate him. Who knows? I don't. And Donald Trump does not want to tell us. But this is fucking crazy, by the way, for anyone paying attention, because there was no bad weather. I'm just saying it's a little bit fishy and suspicious. Now, being that Donald Trump is completely and utterly dominating Iran, despite the fact that the Democrats are ruthlessly rooting for the rapist pedophiles in charge of Iran to continue raping goats and children as much as they can, because Democrats love child rape. It's their favorite thing, actually. I don't know if you're aware. They love doing that. They love it so much. That's why they all get donations from Jeffrey Epstein and open the border to child sex traffickers and import rapists and pedophiles. They must love that. I can't possibly understand it. Now, the Donald, who's absolutely dominating in the negotiation battlefield because we have completely militarily and economically destroyed Iran, Iran is turning the internet back on. It was one of Trump's demands, and it seems like it's happening. It's being turned back on across Iran. 88% of Iran currently has the internet. And for the record, yes, it is censored. Yes, they can't access everything, but this is so much better than the media blackout that they've been under for, I think, 3 months. 3 months of absolute internet blackout. Complete and utter insanity. Finally, that's getting turned on. And of course, the left is like, no, don't give human rights to the people or something. You know, the Trump scrapped his Camp David meeting, ordered an entire cabinet back to the White House. Something suspicious is going on. Rubio says the deal is 1 word away, 90% complete. Trump is holding the hammer and pinned the Arab world against Iran, which happened. Everyone seems completely stunned by the deal. All right, the deal that Trump is asking for is not this little, okay, we'll go back to what Obama wanted. No. They've been begging for that for a very long time. Anyone that thinks this is a capitulation on the orange man's behalf, in my opinion, is completely and utterly psyoped by the retards. Trump has a plan, and he is forging forward, and he actually has some sort of idea and visualization of what he wants the world to look like when he's done. He's reshaped the entire global order, all right? He basically put a wedge between us and NATO and the UN, based as fuck the UN and fuck NATO. And he also simultaneously liberated Venezuela. We're getting oil from there. Iran is crap, all right? China can't get oil from there. China now is buying oil from us. He's just basically reshaped the entire standard world order.
Where the hell did you come from?
And he's not taking shit from anyone. You know, he's still telling us to keep bombing them, and he's like, no, he has some sort of alternative plan. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have traitors terrorism who quit like completely shamefully, saying we just have to stop the war right now and just leave and cut our losses, and he's like, no. Obviously he has an idea, and I trust that. All right, so I'm not going to fall into the camp of the complete dipshit neocon saying, no, we must bomb the fuck out of them now. And I'm not falling for the propaganda of the other side saying, no, Iran is winning. You have to be a complete retard if you think Iran is winning. Now, Donald dropped this one in the middle of the night, as he does.
I'm knocking some of these Democrats. They're really like dumb people. And I said, you know, they should be called Democrats. It's only a one-letter change.
True.
No E, and you put a U in.
Literally fire, Mr. President. You have roasted them and destroyed them with memes. And on the balance. All right, so there is zero doubt that Donald Trump is in complete and total control of the Republican Party. He beat every single Republican in every single state with his endorsement. Remember how everyone was screaming and yelling, crying and bitching at Thomas Massie? He got his election stolen because the Jews paid for his opponent or something. Bro, every single Trump endorsement won. All of them. And the complete dumb fucks are just falling for the slopaganda. Just to understand, John Cornyn, this retard, he was like one of these open borders, retard rhinos, anti-based Republicans that was voting against the SAVE Act and all this shit. And he just endorsed the other guy and he lost miserably, completely miserably. This is an incumbent. He's been in office for like a decade, and it's over. It's just over. Trump's like, you know what? Fuck you. He picked the other guy, and it's over.
Again, this was one of the best. I just said Tarrant was one of the best Cornyn counties in the preliminary. This county was even better. Okay, for Cornyn. Cornyn beat Paxton here solidly in the preliminary. But again, looking at the early vote right here, Paxton's absolutely trouncing him.
How'd that happen?
So
this was like a staunch district for Cornyn, and then Trump was like, absolutely not, and then boom, complete landslide. 2/3 of the vote went to the other guy. Like, bro, people are, oh, Trump is losing control of MAGA, bro. Trump is MAGA, and you know what MAGA stands for? That's right. That's deportation party. Trump is not going to be around to realize it. I know it. He's going way too weak for deportation, if you ask me. But the next fucker is going to come in. That dude's going to go crazy. And it's going to happen. As it happens right now, I am super happy with the force that we're seeing in the Republican Party. The Republican Party is not going to be a party of retards and limp-dicked pussies that are just going to sit there and get trampled by the third world anymore. And if Trump wants them out, they're going to leave. But the polls said differently. Well, Vice President JD dropped a bar on that one.
Polls show that a majority of DC residents don't support the Guard here. So what's your message to the majority of DC residents?
I'm highly skeptical that a majority of DC residents don't want their city to have better public safety and more reasonable safety standards within Washington, D.C. I don't know what poll you're talking about. Maybe the same polls that said Kamala Harris would win the popular vote by 10 points.
Yeah, so all the polls that are saying that, but the polls are saying that Trump is losing control of the Republican Party. Yeah, those might be the same polls that said Kamala Harris was going to be president of the United States. Now, in Paxton, this guy just won his primary.
I'll support President Trump's America First agenda and finally secure our nation's election by passing the Save America.
There it is, but where's John Cornyn? Why didn't John Cornyn do that? Now, there's so much more interesting information about this. Like, for example, you know that John Cornyn, the retard that just lost was funded by the leading Jewish American organization and AIPAC and RJC and all these other Jewish groups? You mean to tell me that AIPAC can't just handpick elections and just win all of them? You mean to tell me that AIPAC actually has next to no power in comparison to the word of Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, most popular politician in the country by a landslide? You mean to tell me that the reason why Thomas Massie lost had nothing to fucking do with the Jews? It was just because he fucking sucked? He was a schizo? We'll talk about him in a bit because he's been crashing out on the timeline. But I am just saying, all right, if AIPAC truly controlled America, then this dude would have won this election. And he did. He should. Congratulations to get back to run a strong and powerful race, but more importantly, having a truly great career. What a magnanimous guy. John John will remain my friend for a long time to come as we both watch Ken become a fantastic common sense senator, one who's respected by all. His opponent, Alfred E. Newman, might be the worst Texas candidate I've ever seen. A strong, open borders advocate, weak on crime, believes there are 6 genders, is insulting to Jesus Christ, will never support the military, was a big mask wearer until recently, and is a vegan who dislikes meat. Oh, God. It's not exactly a good way to be if you want to win an election in Texas. Jasmine Crockett, a very low IQ individual who is no relation to the legendary frontiersman Davy Crockett, who would have been a far better choice for the Democrats. I will do some nice, big, beautiful rallies for Ken in Texas. Texas will be fun. God bless America. Bro, dude, we have the GOAT in the White House, man. So many people are complaining that he doesn't do all of the things, but I am so happy with the way the culture in our country is evolving. Can I just say, we're living at a time where believing in 6 genders, insulting Jesus Christ, not supporting the military, being a mask wearer, and being a vegan, like, these are actual strikes against him in our culture today. That didn't exist in 2020. In 2020, those would have been positives. And right now, they are ultimate, each one an ultimate negative, that each one as a standalone would lose him his election. But understand, bro. So James Tallarico is terrified. He is going to be running in the midterms against Ken Paxton, it seems. Ken Paxton is the most corrupt politician in America. He embodies the broken system we're running against. It's time to come together. The people versus Ken Paxton. Well, Ken Paxton won. All right, and he's hopefully going to wipe the floor with you, too. Now, James Tallarico, for those of you understanding, he is a very interesting character. He is running for Senate in Texas, claiming to be a Christian, while simultaneously having some really interesting, albeit heretical beliefs.
Something that you love, that's not family or friends.
All right, what do you love the most, Tallarico? What do you love? If you could think of something you love, what is it that you love? I'm not, this is not AI. What you're about to witness is a real human being, unfortunately.
I love, I'm just saying this because it's on my mind, the trans children who showed up yesterday at the state capitol to add.
What do you love, James Tallarico? Trans children! The leftist party. Yeah, and listen, everyone's using so much pushback when they say that the Democrats are the party of pedophiles. Like, are we being real here? Like, are we being serious? Like, dude, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life! These people are it's unreal. Alright, James Tallarico's church, where they say a sermon that if the trans community needs abortion care, they're putting a trans book on kids. Among the books in the church library is The Book is Gay, which lays out the ins and outs of gay sex for kids. And as someone who covers the news every day in the least homosexual way possible, literally fuck this heretic. I absolutely cannot stand this reform ideology where it's like, oh yeah, I believe in God. The Bible, of course, is the word of God. I just think he was wrong about like half of it. Fuck you and fuck whatever satanic demon you are actually worshiping.
You gonna fuck with my bike?
Sucks, man. And your time is not.
Don't touch the bike.
We are done with this. The culture has moved on. Today should be Nancy lost because of Israel money and Uncle President Trump's an ironclad grip on the GOP. Explain Bill Cassidy. Explain Tom Dillon.
I don't think I'll make it back in time.
I'm curious to see how John Cornyn will go. Well, spoilers, he lost. Spoilers, it didn't work out. So this is the scorecard for Donald Trump 2026. And it's shocking.
Races and Senate races. This is his scorecard, okay?
Yeah.
He has endorsed 8 governors. Now, some of these races weren't real close and have a lot of competition, but some of them did. I mean, we saw what happened in Louisiana, the primary of Bill Cassidy. We saw what happened a week ago tonight with Tom.
Basically all of them. All right, I'm not going to sit here and play a clip of pure and utter glazing. All right, I don't want to play this clip of a man just sucking the cock of another man. This is the least homosexual news coverage on the planet. I'm not going to do that. But essentially, that's what's going on there. Now, Al Green just lost his primary. All right, for those of you that don't remember Al Green, he was the guy trying to impeach Trump for dastardly deeds.
I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce...
Just because I look like a Neanderthal, that doesn't mean I don't have the right to impeach the elected president.
That I will bring articles of impeachment against the president.
Thank you for shopping at Trader Joe's. We'll be closing soon, so make your final purchases.
It didn't work. Much to the surprise of me personally, I totally.
I'm closing up.
This time they would get him.
I hope you like
they
your
tried
reward.
to kill him, they tried to jail him, but this time This time I thought it was gonna well, it
Oi.
didn't happen. Al Green lost his primary by 37 points. Just heartbreaking. And the Donald had to dance on his grave a little bit. Congratulations to the Democrat Party. Al Green, one of the most mentally deficient congressmen in the history of our country, has lost in a landslide his seat in Congress. But I will just that
Infected?
lunatic not
No
screaming
problem.
and violently waving his cane at me during my next State of the Union speech. Make America great again. My God! He just keeps winning. It's unbelievable. All right, Democrat Rep. Al Green lost his congressional seat in Texas after he tried so hard to impeach Donald Trump, and he lost it bad.
Well, you just brightened my
Trump
day.
is just killing these people.
I'm glad I could
this
help
dude
you.
is out there. He's the incumbent. He won his last elections. He's going up. He's doing his best. Right? He makes.
I've got
Trump
just
the
a
sole
job for
focus
some.
of
Do
his
hurry.
election, loses
I have a protection payment coming up
such
soon.
cases, many such cases. Right? Trump has raped the minds of a generation in the most fantastic way possible. Sex therapists who vowed to put, quote, American Zionists into castration centers loses Texas Democratic primary. It's so bad, bro. They're losing all their fuckers. Wow. China's starting to pay for our oil, and we're investigating Hassan Piker, and all that shit falls apart. That's crazy. Now, Thomas Massey, who lost his primary, also could Trump endorse the other guy. Now, a lot of people think Trump endorsed the other guy because he didn't want to fund Israel or something. That shit's stupid, and also not true. Trump endorsed the other guy because Thomas Massey started the entire Jeffrey Epstein slander campaign on Donald Trump, saying that Donald Trump was part of the Epstein class, that he's a pedophile.
We are now closed.
All that shit.
Have a good night, and don't let the zombies fight.
Slander against that man with zero evidence, which is bad on its own right. And if I was Trump, I would endorse the other guy just because this guy was calling, he was calling him a pedophile for like a year. All right, but worse than that, all right, he voted to fucking defund ICE. He voted for open borders. He voted against the big beautiful bill, which is literally the keystone of Trump's entire economic policy. All right, he voted against open borders. He voted against ICE. Shit. All right, literally get him out. Get him out. All these libertarians, bro. These guys suck, dude. They really do. All right, so just to be clear, all right, so he has this whole meet the press, big interview because he lost miserably. The entire leftist apparatus was trying their absolute best to astroturf him and get him to win. He was on the Young Turks, bro. The Young Turks endorsed him for a Republican seat. All right, well, he lost miserably.
Can we expect you to in the coming weeks and months?
Yes. Top the law, there's still they haven't released.
Right.
From talking to lawyers that their own 302 forms haven't been released.
Can you believe this? He loses his election miserably. They get him on an and he's like, Epstein.
We know the files have been overredacted. I have released at least 3 names of billionaires who are implicated in this.
And a whole bunch of other guys.
I don't think it's possible to get to convictions with Todd Blanche at the top.
That's right. Somebody else, that's the problem. Thomas Massey said he'll publicly read the names of the Epstein clients. Why didn't you yet? You a pedophile protector? Why didn't you yet? Now, this is Thomas Massey, by the way.
I have got to get past May 19th. If I lose on May 19th, I am not doing any more government ever.
All right. If he loses his primary, he is never, ever doing anything again in the government ever. Anyway, he's filing to run again in 2028.
I'm not.
So this is a lie.
Not running for president, not running for governor. It's a sign from God or the people or both that I,
Right, so this is on May 19th, he's losing in May 19th, and he crashes down the crying about how he's doing it, sponsored his opponent. It's really incredible stuff. It really is. Like, it's unbelievable the level of grit you have to deal with. Nancy said, quote, if I lose on May 19th, I'm not doing this anymore. It's a sign from God. Yet he's filing to run for federal office again in 2028. Because he's a lying grifter. Maybe that's why. Thomas Massey made this tweet. I'll be exposing the swamp for 7 more months before you can get to unwrap your present from the globalist billionaires. Dog, you have been here for 14 years. This is like such horseshit. It's crazy. Thomas Massey has been in Congress for 14 years, and he didn't expose anything. The next 7 months now he's gonna, because he's a grifter, because he's a huge grifter, schizophrenic, and that's why he lost miserably. And dude, it's tiring watching these people. They're pathetic. In fact, in one of the most brutal debates I've ever seen in my entire life, Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks, which by the way endorsed a Republican. I wonder why. It's almost like it's because he's back to Trump every fucking time he can. Right? He ended up debating this dude, and he fucking killed him.
It's interesting that you talk about Zionist billionaires because actually Jeff Yass funded Thomas Massey's campaign
Spain as well. I find it interesting that you don't talk about NIAC, the National Iranian American Council. I find it interesting you don't talk about the Council on American Islamic Relations. I find it interesting you don't talk about the Jordanian Muslims, the Marouk family, who also funded him. You don't talk about the Iranian Joe Kini, who I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I find it interesting that you're talking about how AIPAC has this ability to simply fund elections with any money they want.
Which, by the way, they just lost their election in Texas, AIPAC, by the way.
Yet Maureen Galindo, who said that American Zionists need to be put in internment camps, actually won her election yesterday. Chris Rabb, who said that the Bondi Beach massacre, which killed 10 Jews by an Islamist, including a 9-year-old girl, Matilda, he said it was a false flag. He won his election yesterday. So if AIPAC is, buying any election they want, how come they didn't buy those elections? Why did they allow those candidates to win? So again, if you want to focus on money, then sure, Thomas Massie also raised $50 million from Islamist groups, from far-left Democrats. He went on your show repeatedly. But look, Kamala Harris raised $1 billion.
He did not go on our show repeatedly.
He only went once, actually. I love how she has zero refutation to anything that he said. Actually, he only went on my show once. It wasn't repeatedly.
You made that up.
Excuse me. He went on your show the day before the election, all right?
You can't just lie.
You can't just lie repeatedly, though.
He came on
Thomas
first.
Massie went on your show the day before the election.
Issues and had to drop off.
I am making the point that even if you have money in politics, which I want to get rid of, that still doesn't translate into forcing Kentuckians to not support a candidate. Kamala Harris had $1 billion and she still lost. What, you're telling me that 60,000 Kentuckians who wanted strong borders, who wanted DHS funded, who didn't believe that Donald Trump was a pedophile, they were forced into voting against Thomas Massie? No, they didn't like the guy. That's what elections come down to. Thomas Massie.
That's right.
He raised roughly $14 million. Ed raised roughly $19 million. But the idea that you can fool the people of Kentucky into voting for someone who they don't actually support is ludicrous. So again, if Kamala Harris raised $1 billion, then using your logic, if money is what determines outcomes of elections, then how come she lost? So yes, it's true. When you have an
He was a terrible candidate.
Support in particular.
There it is.
Oh, so I would.
So is Thomas Massie, the Republican who was for open borders and backstabbing Trump. Exactly.
Argue that's Thomas Massie, who was campaigning with individuals like Ryan Matta, who was wearing an American Right sweater.
Bro, he was campaigning with the Young Turks. There is no bigger slight against someone on the Republican side that would go on the Young Turks for an endorsement. All right? You really want to get endorsed by Cenk Uygur? Open borders, communist, Islamist, pro-terrorism? You want that endorsement and run for Republican primaries? Bro, it's over. It's so over. Yes, he was a nightmare candidate, and that is why he lost. All right? Everyone, these people are complete retards. They don't live in reality. It's just Trump's world, and we're living in it. Now, in the twist of the century, it seems like a soundtrack is actually going on. And not only that, he's already snitching on all of this conspiracy. It's a day for comedy. Insane update on this. All right, so first, it is official. The Treasury Department is now investigating Hassan Piker and Code Pink, who hosted his trip to Cuba.
The Treasury Department is now investigating Piker and Code Pink.
That's right.
Looking at funding for the trip, which some think is tied to the Chinese Communist Party.
This is getting a lot hairier now.
Also under scrutiny,
That's called treason, by the way. All right, you got a lot of morons who are like, the freedom of speech to talk about his opinion for Cuba. No. You see, there's a fine line. Freedom of speech and treason. And
these fucking guys.
Businessman and social activist Neville Roy Singham.
Remember that name.
Who has donated to Code Pink in the past and has alleged ties to China through his business dealings. The investigation is looking at his trip, which involved as many as 40 American citizens who joined what is being called a Marxist convoy to Havana. The Trump administration wants to know if Piker and Code Pink violated U.S. laws and sanctions in support of Cuba's Chinese government. For now, nobody's in charge.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Now, to be clear, this guy, Congressman Randy Fine, literally, he goes on Newsman. Piker.
You're talking about the greatest allegation against Piker? Well, both of these individuals are funded by overseas influencers that support terrorism. I have to deal with these Code Pink lunatics on Capitol Hill when they come around, and they shut up because I always demand that they tell me how much they're getting paid, and they don't want to answer that question. If they went to Cuba, if they interfered with our sanction policy, federal policy, that they should go to jail. And in the case of Hassan Piker, I hope it goes one step further. He's from Turkey. I hope we denaturalize and we deport him.
The goat! Oh my God, the goat! Bro, Hassan Piker is gonna get whacked with the Hebrew hammer. It is over, bro. It is over, brosif.
And send him back. These are not people who love America. These are not people that share American values. These are the enemy within, and we need to deal with them accordingly.
Oh my God, you let it call them the enemy within. You just did. What are you gonna do?
And yet the left seems so enamored with Piker. Why is that?
Because
the left loves terrorism, actually.
Because much of the left hates America now. That's been the most disheartening thing about my year in Congress. 30 years ago, Republicans and Democrats had different ways to make America successful, but both sides loved America and wanted it to be successful. A large percentage of the Democrats who serve in Congress hate America and seek its destruction. If you think Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib want a successful United States, you are out of your mind. But they are not isolated. They are now mainstream on that.
Is there anything similar between Rashida Tlaib, Muslim, Ilhan Omar, Muslim, and Hassan Piker, Muslim? No, I don't think they have anything in common, actually.
That side of the aisle. Not every Democrat hates America, but many of them do, and they're the ones that have embraced Hassan Piker, another person who hates America.
It's a funny coincidence that they all have the same faith, actually. Now, Hassan Piker is literally trying to make my day better by having public crash outs.
But it's so strange because this is not even beneficial for any of these people, right? It's not even beneficial, and they don't get it. They don't understand it. Like, who is this for? Is the question.
For me.
Is it for you?
Yeah.
Is this helpful for you if I go to fucking prison? No.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
I totally disagree. Actually, it is. Yes. Is it helpful for you if you step on a cockroach that's in your kitchen? Yep. Actually, yes. Yeah, actually, I like the cockroach is dead. Anyway, Hassan Piker, bro, you don't understand. The entire internet came together on this one. You got center left. You got far right. Everyone is singing Kumbaya. Empire watching this dude collapse.
Please, President Trump, I'll gulp your Cheeto dry. Just let me stay in America.
No! Just pure and utter misery for the Piker household. This dude's getting fucking destroyed everywhere, but it's not only him, actually. Now, this is a bigger story that no one wants to actually address. Hassan Piker might actually be a linchpin in destroying absolute and utter destruction that is coming into our country from China and other communists. All right, breaking. New report from UN Watch reveals that the UN experts accepted millions of dollars from China, Russia, and Qatar before attacking the U.S., Israel, and the West. Pretty interesting stuff, honestly. Right, and obviously it's a whole report. But the point is, they are taking millions from China, Russia, and Qatar, and then they're attacking us. Isn't that weird? Do you find that weird? In fact, Spanish police raided the headquarters of Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's ruling Socialist Party. Oh my God! More communists getting absolutely raped. Don't like to hear that. Now, Zoran Mamdani, just to understand how the communism infiltration happens, right? This guy's the mayor of New York right now. He got complete fucking retards to vote for him because he promised them free shit. All right, and he got the immigrants. He told all the immigrants, hey, you're in America and you hate America. You hate white people. Why don't I just take the stuff from the white people and give it to you? And all the migrants are like, holy shit, this guy's so fucking based. I love the way he said that. So based when he got this button up. This was so awesome. I love you. Anyway, so this is what he has to say.
When necessary, we will take aggressive legal action to remove negligent owners and property managers.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean, remove that?
And for buildings that have suffered chronic neglect, we will work to transfer ownership to responsible stewards.
That's right. If they subjectively decide that they don't like your building, they will just transfer the ownership to somebody else.
Alright, hang on, I'm gonna run to the bathroom right quick.
The communists, they're just gonna confiscate your house. Welcome to New York, baby.
Stewards that include community land trusts, nonprofits.
That's right. They're gonna transfer the ownership from you to the community.
Nonprofits, or even the tenants themselves.
I bet you that will not happen. It'll all go to the state. All right, let's be honest. All right, so this is just straight up communism, by the way. All right, just to understand how the infiltration actually works. So Hassan Piker, who campaigned to get that guy elected, is obviously a very important agent for the Chinese Communist Party or whatever other foreign interest is trying to rape our country. All right, just understand. So this is Hassan basically kind of sort of admitting that he broke federal law.
And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's not great.
Let's go.
The news
Jail.
is not great. Okay.
Lock him the
I mean, it's
fuck up.
bullshit, but
Yeah, it's bullshit.
still not
God,
great.
he's so scared.
That,
He's so scared. It's amazing. I love it.
you know, they're after your boy. They're up my ass.
They're up his ass. They're after your boy. All right, so he knows he broke federal law, in my opinion. I think he knows all this, and he's terrified that he's going to jail. Now, if you actually want to see a little bit of Nostradamus magic, all right, you can look at some of my videos covering his Cuba trip. Hassan Piker will be arrested for his Cuba trip 2 months ago, and also another video over here. Hassan responded he's going to go to jail. I am just saying, Nostradamus strikes again. It's really good. All right, definitely subscribe. But anyway, so, you know, saying the quiet part out loud. Far-left streamer Hassan Piker names Neville Roy syndrome among his vehicle behind political operations that operate under non-profit labels. Now, my favorite thing is the fact that, like, you got this billionaire in China that's out there, funding Hassan as, like, this astroturf fuckboy trying to promote communism, and he's just dumb as fucking mud. He's just dumb as rocks. Right, and they're trying to astroturf this guy. He's just fucking stupid as shit. He ends up exposing their entire operation. Fox News has now hired reporters to monitor Hassan Piker's Twitch stream all day. This seems like the kind of punishment Zeus would come up with when one of the Greek mortals were like a bit of an asshole. It's like forced to watch Hassan Piker's streams all day, I guess. Now, this is an old clip of Hassan that just resurfaced, and it's pretty insane. He basically admits to treason in this clip.
I want to go to Cuba. Would you be down?
I fucking love Cuba.
Oh yeah, you'd be down?
Yeah.
The Cuban government actually hit my contact from the embassy.
Ah, he's in direct contact with the communist adversarial government, literally torturing the Cuban people. Isn't that fucking awesome that he admits this shit? I don't know how he admits it. And he's doing it for free.
And you told them that if the...
I'm sure you have like all the people around him like, just trying to fucking kill him like, before he says anything. His lawyers immediately just shooting themselves in the head.
only thing stopping us from coming to Cuba was the
this dude's doing the big slurps. He's like, yo, fucking stop!
internet access. We can make it happen.
Yeah, Cuba is sick.
Wait,
we like the government reached out to you.
So, yeah, of course.
No, this isn't our adversarial government that we have sanctions on is talking to you directly to do propaganda for them. No, don't admit that you're literally evading a foreign enemy. No, that's treason. That's all, please. But he's fucking retarded, man. You see, my favorite thing about this saga is not only is he like cartoonishly evil, torturing his dog, going to brothels in Germany that sex traffic children, cartoonishly evil, supportive of every Islamic terrorist he could fucking think of. He just fucking admits to be working with foreign governments.
Well, not recently.
No, yeah, bro, it's just so bad. So he reacted to this clip, and his reaction is even better. None of this is illegal, okay? As an American, doing propaganda for a foreign adversary is illegal. That is providing material support to a foreign enemy. It is considered treason, punishable by death or 10 years in prison.
American citizen, you can.
You're an American citizen. You can literally do treason as an American citizen. I love this as a defense.
Be in correspondence with individuals in another country. The American
waters down every description he ever made.
I had no idea they were looking to denaturalize Hassan.
All right, Hassan, let's see how this works.
Sanctions on this stuff are fucking idiotic. I have a journalism visa.
He disagrees with American sanctions against an adversary. That makes it okay to do propaganda for a foreign enemy.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He has a journalism visa. He can do terrorism now.
And what's really funny about it is that every single news outlet that goes to Cuba does this as well. CNN.
Don't do propaganda. They do reporting. You did propaganda. Funded by a foreign China. You're actually
Al Jazeera, ABC, fucking Fox News.
This is how leftists operate. They just don't understand. And then just completely form of conversation meaningless because they just make believe they don't understand words. No one is saying you can't report on Cuba. Yes, Fox News does report on Cuba, true. A, not positively, and B, they don't get funded by China to do propaganda for foreign enemies. He's like, but other people talk to people in Cuba too. Like, actually retarded.
Every goddamn American news outlet that has been to Cuba has done this.
None of them got funding from China for propaganda for Cuba. None of them. All right, which is what we're talking about here. But he knows that. He knows that. He just thinks he can get away with it. Now, I think this is insane. The fact that he named.
No, I did. Like they wanted. They were just talking about denaturalizing him and deporting him back to Turkey. I mean, he is an anchor baby. That is a possibility. But in all honesty, I don't even think he's the target of any of this. I think all this Hassan Piker's going to jail is just wishful thinking for all the slop tubers.
It's held through regardless because like it's ridiculous, right? It's like totally fucking ridiculous.
Oh, it's cinema. It's just so good. It's just so good.
To try.
Yeah, I don't. He's not going to go to jail.
To try and stop like the political advocacy of an American citizen.
I think he's got subpoena to go in front of Congress.
Right. Roy Singham is an American citizen.
I think they're just going to try to fucking scare him.
Now.
And they're going to try to get him to fucking rat out everybody else.
I think he has almost $1 billion.
Hassan Piker hates billionaires so much he even gets funded by them to do propaganda for foreign terrorists.
Not sure how much money he has now, but
allegedly,
he's been a funding vehicle for a lot of political movements in the country, like a lot of activism.
Oh, he's funding a lot of the activists in the country. That's all you guys keep losing.
And they hate that shit. Like, the American government hates that shit.
Yeah, the American government really does hate when foreign powers and foreign countries are literally funding terrorism in our country. Can't believe it.
So they're trying to jam him up. You know? They're trying to hit him on anything and everything they possibly can.
I love how Hassan, he does this to sound smart, and he ends up coming off as, the most inbred retard you've ever seen in your life. Right? Turns out PSL, which is what Hassan just named, has a lot of Reddit moderators and therefore subreddits under his control. The right r/the right can't mean, Gen Z Dom, late stage capitalism. These are all subreddits that are literally all run by this. Effectively, the entire tanky faction of Reddit is directly influenced by China. Thanks to the info, Hassan. This guy is talking about his childhood.
You know, I never had much of it here. Just loving parents, stability in a mansion, and a thriving baked goods enterprise for me to inherit. Useless crap like that. You know?
Just literally, everyone fucking hates us. Right, and everyone is shitting on him. It's truly incredible. You know, the claim is that Hassan went to Cuba on humanitarian grounds. The reality is he very likely violated very serious restrictions that make humanitarian travel legal. All right, just to understand, Hassan states that he went to expose what the U.S. government did to Cuba. All right. Humanitarian travelers must run a full-time schedule that enhances contacts, supports civil society, promotes Cuba's people's independence. He didn't do any of that. He did gay nightclub shit. He stole Like, you understand how bad this guy fucked up his career? Right now, Sneeko did an entire talk about why we should defend Hassan Piker. They're on the team. Oh, so brave. Hassan has been attacking him, and yet he is still gonna be pro Hassan. The only reason why they're doing it is it's a double standard.
The justice system.
And what such a double standard. For the record, the left has been doing this to the right for years. The left has been locking up people on the right for shit that's not anywhere nearly as bad as this. They've been censoring us, they've been banning us, they've been debanking us, they've been jailing us. All right, look at the Gen 6ers that were all in jail on sham trials. People like Derek Chauvin, who's still in jail, even though George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose because of a show trial. And his partner, the other guy, the Asian guy, that's also in jail. Like, you understand how insane this is? And he's like, no. They just hate he's just critical for Trump, and that's why they're jailing him for terrorism. It's fucking crazy. I love this. It's actually amazing that he's doing this. So Sneeko's obviously very mad about he's Muslim. Very mad about this. Also, Sneeko had this to say.
But when I was 14, I thought I was gay. I watched gay porn. It's not for me. It's not for me. I saw, bro, I went to a gay nightclub with my gay friends. I went to go visit my friend Master.
Yeah, anyway, so,
Yeah, can I get a mojito and knock on you on a
I'm sorry, this is just Nico, a Muslim ordering alcohol to stuff the seniors off. My bad, I don't know why I didn't think that either. Now, Myron Gaines did the same thing, Muslim. Myron Gaines gives Hassan Piker life-saving advice for the winning strategy after the subpoenas. He's like, no, please, Hassan, we must rescue Hassan.
Step 1. Get the subpoena. Read the subpoena. Step 2. Hire a lawyer that specializes in OFAC. Step 3, optional, but I highly suggest you do it just based on what I think the government's going to bring you in for. Hire a criminal defense lawyer that specializes in espionage. Pay for the consult. Maybe retain him as a lawyer. Maybe you can.
Anyway, Pro goes on a 3-minute tirade giving fantastic advice for Hassan to survive. Please, Hassan must survive. Please. I'm just wondering if you're noticing anything here. So I actually mentioned this. No one wants to make this connection because apparently there's still some things that are taboo. Apparently there's still some things you're not allowed to say out loud. But don't worry, we're wrecking barriers on my stream every day.
It's like having a nice home cooked mom and you make me feel like everything's
Slandered both of us. He supports terrorism. He hates our country. Find out. It's very entertaining.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if terrorist organizations really want me dead, by the way. I don't know if that's relevant, but yeah, that too.
It is.
Like this dude said, is it going to make your life better if I go to jail?
Yes. It'll make your life Yep.
Yes.
Yes, he
I'm
did.
glad you mentioned that.
As if that's why he's going to prison. It's like, yeah, you're going to prison purely because you are an annoyance, Hassan, and there's nothing else. That's it. It's not all the connections that you have.
My favorite thing is the argument is so, like, retarded, too. It's like, will it really make your life better if you step on a cockroach in your kitchen?
But yeah, exactly. If you actually do want me to answer your question, Hassan, yeah, it'd be fucking great, man.
It's definitely an IQ
unifying
test.
moment.
It's an IQ test amongst content creators. I've seen many content creators go live on Twitter and say, guys, you don't want Hassan to go to jail because if he does, we all will. No, that's just like not what he's being arrested for.
Tell me the content creators. Tell me the content creators, and you'll notice they all have something in common. Tell me the ones that said that.
I'll DM you.
Well, I can say them out loud.
Go ahead,
It's Nico, an Islamist. It's Myron Gaines, an Islamist. It's Mike from PA, a communist. Uh-oh. I can't possibly say Are we noticing?
There's more, by the way. There's more.
Yeah, did you see the Reddit?
Do they fit into any of those two categories?
Well, there's a very high chance of that next.
Yeah, there is a very high chance of that actually. That's pretty weird. That's pretty wild. I can't personally believe that at all. All right, now you got someone in this chat like just crashing out. Dude, this is so good. It's like I highly doubt Myron is looking for Hassan. Myron wouldn't do that because you're such a Jew. That's why you're going after Myron. Myron made a whole tweet about it. Hassan Piker is a faggot. True, a huge, insufferable, pompous one. However, I don't want him thrown in jail for his political views. No, he's not smart enough to be a spy. He's just dumb and loud and woke. No, you can't do that. No, don't arrest Hassan for treason. Anyway, let's just take a look at what our favorite religion of peace has been up to aside from defending Hassan Piker. We got a major kosher store in Golden Street in London getting blown up. We don't know. Possibly this. We don't know who could have done it. All right, here we got people hanging an effigy of a Jew at a Palestinian march in Montreal yesterday. All right, this is probably just criticizing the state of Israel, if I had to guess. All right, this is a Jewish girl who went missing in Toronto, 14-year-old, and when they put up flyers to try to locate her, people tore down the flyers because she's Jewish, and obviously this is going to free Palestine, so obviously they're fighting the good fight. Vile anti-Semitic UCLA students formed a Jewish exclusion zone and beat them unconscious with sticks. Because obviously they want to free Palestine, so they have to beat up the Jews in UCLA. Obviously. This is everything I'm showing you happened yesterday. Boston in the United States, we got a black guy dressed as Adolf Hitler filming himself, stomping on an Israeli flag. This is criticism of the state of Israel, by the way. Now, speaking of China, Muslims forced to drink alcohol and eat pork in China's re-education camps, former inmate claims. So listen, maybe we were wrong about China. I'm just maybe glass half full. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, obviously.
Listen, you know, as I see it, and all these things you're pointing out about the different religions, there's a reason why we don't see almost no Muslim girls in the rape statistics in Britain. It's because it's a religiously motivated rape jihad against Christians by these predominantly Pakistani Muslim men. You don't find the white man, hold on, you don't find the white man in Britain raping Muslim girls as some sort of religious targeting, because the reason they don't rape their own girls is because that would be haram. So they go outside of their religion because that's considered all right, because we know what the Quran says about sex slaves and all those things outside your religion. It's just made up. It's just made up.
It's made up. Good defense, chunks. Anyway, so, yeah. So Muslims are out there blowing up, burning, and raping Christians and Jews across the world, and you're racist for noticing. Did you know that there are Gaza bots that will follow you if you post the word genocide about Gaza? One called PSYOP gets followed by a pro-Gaza guy. Thanks for your support, says another bot. Like, crazy. Tell Hassan I want him to know it was me. And the mainstream media is doing their best to fight back. Peace on the BBC this morning claiming Restore Britain is attracting young men in large numbers who are fed up and want real radical change. Wrong! And millions of young women, too. We are radicalizing the bitches, ladies and gentlemen. And all it took was importing a gang of barbaric rapists, and that's all it took. And that is why feminism is an inherently retarded position that inherently cannot ever exist or make sense. You always need a patriarchy, ultimately, because force is owned and dominated by males. So the women will take power and import the rapists and then need men to deport them. So yeah, I just find it funny that we have communists around the world, from Spain to the UN, just getting absolutely exposed. It seems like this Hassan Piker entire investigation is leading us to actually track down like this billionaire in China that's been funding all this shit. All these activists seem like they're completely astroturfed. For some reason, the only people defending Hassan are Muslims. I can't believe it. People like Sneeko and Myron Gaines, that's a shock and a half. Didn't see that one coming. And honestly, I just have to say, absolute freaking cinema. This is the best timeline. Yes, actually denaturalizing and deporting foreign terrorist-supporting retard traitors is based as fuck, actually, and very consistent with my principles. Oy vey, it's another knockball, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the leftoids
I hit him in the head with the hammer. He grabbed his knee. That's weird.
I didn't think this would be possible, but we're getting a Republican mayor in Los Angeles, and I didn't think that would ever happen in my lifetime, I'm not gonna lie. All right, so first, before we even get into that, the absolutely diabolical campaign that's being run by Spencer Pratt in LA, I have to show you a new California law that's just passed, the Stop Nick Shirley Act. I can't believe that we're here.
This is what many are calling the Stop Nick Shirley Act. This provision right here, B1. This is the look, I'm not going to support the bill overall, but at the very least, if you support freedom of speech and the First Amendment, B1 is a problem, and let me quote it in plain English, directly from the bill. A person shall not publicly post or display on the internet the image of a designated immigrant support services provider.
Look at that. What the fuck is
That's
that?
the language.
What does that even mean?
Plain and simple.
That's it. What is that? What does that mean?
Goes on to say, well,
you're not allowed to post images that we don't like. Yep, that's right. That's right. We're going to be arresting you now not because you said something true, and we don't like it.
Only if this so-called provider has given a written request. So let me give you an example. Nick Shirley shows up with his camera crew to the Somali Leering Center. Or
the one which, by the way, actually was raided by the FBI and they got arrested for it, for fraud.
One of the 90 fake hospices operating in a building in Los Angeles that was highlighted by CBS News shows up doing the work of a citizen watchdog journalist. This is something we should promote. We should say, look, we want extra set of eyes. People have a right to go out there and kick the tires and find out what are these organizations doing with our taxpayer funds. Nick Shirley records empty beds at the daycare center, records no patients, no medical supplies, no nurses, no doctors at the fake hospices. On the basis of this research, investigative research, posts this on the internet, interviews some of the providers, and all these people do is they hand Nick Shirley a business.
Excuse me, Mr. DeMaio. Assembly Member Bonta, you are recognized for your point of order.
I asked the member from San Diego to actually stick to the merits of this bill, which actually has nothing to do
with so-called
Thank you,
Nick
Assembly
Shirley.
Member.
That's right. The Stop Nick Shirley Act, which has nothing to do with Nick Shirley, we should just talk about this. These people are horrible. California voted to pass the Stop Nick Shirley Act. The bill puts journalists at civil risk for investigating fraud and makes it harder to expose fraud in immigration support services, including NGOs, nonprofits, healthcare facilities. They receive hundreds of millions from the state of California each year. This bill would have made it criminal to expose fake hospices in LA or the Somali Hearing Center in Minnesota that claim reasonable fears, and the business owner gives a written demand not to post the video. Plain and simple, California is trying to make it harder to expose fraud. This is crazy!
Come on, open.
Be sued for injunction to remove the video, plus forced to pay attorney's fees, plus $4,000 in damages. Isn't that crazy? The Attorney General's wife, Mia Bonta, created the bill and is now trying to make it law. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that we've even made it to this point is crazy. Now, JD went nuclear on this.
Nothing. No services, no help, no check-ins. And the very man, the vulnerable elderly man that he was supposed to be protecting and looking after, was reimbursed by the taxpayer in order to do exactly that. That man died. And one day before he died, after months of being neglected by the caretaker who was getting reimbursed by the American people, one day before he
All right,
died,
I'm
he
logging out
submitted
until
his final
morning.
reimbursement for services he never provided.
I will see you guys in the morning. You have a wonderful
man
evening.
Lived his final moments on this earth neglected while a fraudster